the YouTube. And we're going to start in the Club Sesh main. Oh, shit. I forgot. Oh, I'm such a stoner, man. 1 second. If anyone is here already, I need to get to this live stream. Hello. If you're here, I'm just trying to pull up the chat so we can have the chat in the sesh. Duh. So, and Bonbon will be there, but she's, oh. Can you hear me? I don't think so. 1 second. Why is this being so difficult right now? What the hell? Sorry. Ooh. No. Fuck, I hate shit. Stop twirling, man. Oh, I need to. There we go. It's just one of those days. Let's tighten this. And I can hear this. Let me shut myself up. Okay, sorry. Hi. Oh my god, the chat is popping off. I'm trying to make it so this microphone... Oh, I don't think it goes that direction. Why is this so weird? How did I have it before? I don't understand. There we go. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Okay. Ha. Shit. Let me pop out this chat, and I need my earbuds, whatever the hell those are called. Okay. Sometimes it's nice when I'm a little frantic, right? That's what I'm going to tell myself. Let's put this here. Refresh cache. Here we go. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That was way too dramatic. Where is that? There we go. Wow, look at that chat. I'm so sorry. I was trying to figure out, I was trying to get my mic, in the right position. So it's in front of my mouth, and I'm just not used to this mic quite yet. But you can't see it because I have the Bonbon cam. But there's my mic, right? So I just wanted it here. Actually, we can even do. I was wondering where I could put my book. I'm gonna put it right here. So here's my book right in the background. I love it. Okay, now I'm gonna start recording this live because I figured it out. Howdy. Who's here? Michelle's here. Janice is here. Petra's here. Alex is here. Volume's a little bit low. You want me to turn that up? How's that, Alex? You want more? Do you want me to pump it up more? And then let me... The fuck did I do with those? Give me a second. I thought I had everything, but I forgot my earbuds. And I think this should go like that a little. Or maybe not like that? No, not like that. Don't want to move it too much because Winslow set this up for me. Anyway, here I am. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to connect these just in case. Okay, so we got our mic going. We've got the Bonbon. Bonbon, go lay down on your bed. And, okay, Janice says it's low too. Do you guys need it higher? See, Young, I can't wait for your book. I want to make batches of those cookies. Oh, yeah, the Chips Ahai cookies. I could bake some of those for the live. You know, I froze a bunch of them. Is this better? Is this any better? Janice, I love that your weed is loud. I try to explain that to people. They're like, what do you mean it's loud? I'm like, it's fucking loud. Like, it's in your face. You can smell it from a mile away. It's that loud. Hey, hi, tiny dog. I already fed you. Go lay in your bed. No, I don't want you to do that. Not to this sweater, okay? It's Missoni. Okay, volume is good, says Harry Lee. Great. I'm gonna light a joint. Bonbon, of course, is not gonna go to the camera that Winslow set up for her. A bit more? It's almost like all the way up. I don't know how much higher I can. Yeah, Chris is saying it's loud and clear, people. I don't have a dab. You know what I need to get, Janice? I need to get a rig. I'm just like I'll just smoke a joint, you know, kind of a person that I got into that. But I do think I'd like to smoke some other things. Okay, everyone says it's better. That's good. I've got it right up in my face. I don't know what she's doing, but she doesn't want to go and do her thing on the bonbon cam, so that's okay. So what I wanted to show you, dun da da da, bum 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 bum. That was so annoying. Yes, darling. Yes, doll. No, you don't. You know what she did today? And Winslow can attest to this because he was here. She helped herself to treats. Like, she hopped into the cabinet and just like, not hopped, like her treats. I need to put her treats maybe higher up. But anyway, she was really helping herself. So this is my cookbook, How to Eat Weed and Have a Good Time. Woo! And it's awesome. I can't, I don't want to show you everything, but we've got the endorsements from Esther and Salt Hank and Faraday and Be Real, and Tess Sinatro. So nice. And then these photos are awesome. They're from Julia Stoats. Isn't that cool? Spent a lot of time on this book. But I think what I'm excited about, so the beginning, I'll kind of take you through it a little bit. So the beginning is like the introduction tells, Bonbon, I'm trying to tell stories here. Tells how I started in the industry, in the cannabis industry. And from, the first time I smoked pot to the first time I made an edible to when I met this grower up north in Humboldt, and she introduced me to cold water hash. How I started marigold, pot of marigold. Joshua says the typeset is very cool. Thank you. Janice, the Faraday, Farideh, right? Yep, that's how you spell her name. I love her name. So beautiful. And she said, if there is anyone that I'm going to trust to take me on a fun weed-filled journey, it's Vanessa. Not only is her book educational and filled with exciting, clever recipes that you'll want to cook over and over, but the photography is gorgeous, and the recipes are dosed in a way that allows you to control your cannabis intake and consume enough weed to get you stoned, but also eat as much of the dish as you like. She gets it. And believe me, you're going to want to make everything in this cookbook. So there you go. That's what she says. Alex wants to know what I'm smoking on. Ghost Maverick. Great question. I'm going to tell you what I'm smoking on in a second, Alex. It is something I picked up. Well, Winslow picked this up for me from Cornerstone Collective. It's a party pack. Fucking love a party. So it's a party pack and of pre-rolls. I've been trying to like eat more edibles. Just with this, the air, quality. I just feel like edibles are good. Although I'm going to go on Be Real's podcast tomorrow, so I'm definitely going to be smoking pot. But this is Pineapple Gas from Garden Society, which is a California company. Really cool. They do chocolates and things like that. Bonbon, can you leave me alone just for a little bit? Go lay down. Just let me throw her sloth. Go get it. Okay, sorry. So I took her for a walk before we started this live. Don't think I neglect my dog. She's very spoiled. Okay, so where do you buy this book? I got that. Such a unique looking book. Thank you very much. Very colorful, says Petra. Yes, you should have seen the style guide I created for the publisher. He was like, this is the wildest thing I've ever seen. I was like, I'll take that as a compliment. Hi, Bonbon. Okay, if I throw this over there. Oh, oops. I threw it up and it got caught. It's stuck. Where'd it go, Bonbon? I don't know. Anyway, so what I think I hope you guys enjoy everything in this book, but there's a lot of my experience as an edible maker. One of the chapters is called Homogeneity and the Last Bowl of Chicken Soup. So it's talking about homogeneity in edibles. So I try to teach things through stories. Like, how did I learn that? Well, a lot of the way that I learned how to make edibles was just like everybody else, trial and error. And then with this book, I did a lot of lab testing so I could answer the questions that people couldn't give me a clear answer on. Hi, Joy. Hello, Joy. How you doing? So I am on Be Real tomorrow. I'll be on Be Real TV tomorrow. I have to make a tres leches cake for Pedro because I've owed it. Like, I told him way long ago I'd make him a tres leches cake. So I'm excited to make that. I've never made it. So are we guys enjoying this? Do you not want me to... wait, what incredible artwork and design. Thank you. Eddie, let's take an Eddie. That's right, Jeff. Okay, so... some of the things I showed you in that reel was like decarboxylation graphs, a little bit of the terpene charts. I think for me, what was the most, all of this was exciting. Exciting was where the infusions and like looking at how to I created a formula for how to calculate a dose of an edible, what to do when someone gets too high. And then it goes to how to cook weed. So it starts with introduction, what is weed, how to eat weed, and have a good time. And then it goes to how to cook weed. And that's where we get more into, we have the, I don't want to show you all the pictures, but we have the pot pantry. I cannot wait to get your book. Yes, Joy, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to come out. April 15. So I have like a section on mother infusions and canna butter with graphs and rates. And like if you put however much into 1 gram into a cup of butter up to 14 grams, how many milligrams per tablespoon are you going to get? Percentage of infusion at 190 degrees Fahrenheit. So I have these charts and they kind of tell you, it's basically the data I found from all of the lab testing. And then I just tried to organize it into graphs and charts so that you can look at it and be like, oh, okay. So I know if I put 1 gram into a cup of butter, it's going to be, I wish I knew that off my top of my head. It's going to be about 12.5 milligrams, or etc. down the line. So I just wanted to make it easier for people. I hope that this book is a gateway to edibles because they're so much fun. Like, gosh, I'll show you one more picture. Let me see. Which one should it be? There's a lot of these are online. A lot of these are online. I love this picture. So I know firecrackers are usually something else. They're like they're peanut butter and I think graham cracker, and you just put them in the microwave with weed in it. But there's also another, I guess you would call it a snack called a firecracker, and it's saltines, and you like soak it in butter and then bake them. There's different ways to do it, and you can do different flavors, but I did hot honey firecrackers and they're so good. Canna buttered toast. That's awesome. That's a good name. Love the red in your hair. So that I think is that's from Daniel Moon from Hair Salon in Los Angeles. And then also the way that Winslow does the lighting, Anyway, Joy knows what I'm talking about. Which firecrackers do you make, Joy? Do you make like you talking about the weed ones where it's peanut butter and graham cracker and weed? Or are you talking about I think it's Southern, the other firecrackers, which are saltines and soaked in butter? To me, it seemed like such a good edible. Anything soaked in butter, and they're just, you got to make a batch that's not infused because you want to eat them. Oh, wait, yes. You're just going to get her butt for now. She's on patrol. She's on dog patrol. Neighborhood patrol. So we'll leave those here. And there's desserts, of course. There's candies and topicals and so many things in that book. So I had a lot of fun writing it. Got really high. I'm not gonna lie. And I might have put on a couple pounds from writing it, from testing those recipes. But that's how I knew. I was like, got it. Nailed it. Sesh. Hey, Banshee. Time for a sesh. Okay, so I wanted to watch some stuff with all of you. Jana says, Dank and Dabby snacks. Yeah, look at Bonbon. She's so funny. I posted the pictures to the Facebook group, Curly Bee. Made my first green dragon and can of sugar today. Oh, I saw that in the Facebook group. So there's a Facebook group for the Edibles Club if you want to join there too. I don't know. Like everyone has different platforms that they like to do. This is how Bonbon likes to be. Should I turn the camera a little bit so you can fully see her? She's just staring out the window. She's looking at people that she could potentially bark at. Poor thing. I took her to the park yesterday. So she had a fall. Yesterday was like a fall. We walked a lot. So sometimes I think it's good to have balance. But people are like, oh, I have to do 10,000 steps a day. I'm like, don't your feet fucking hurt? PT2, stoner exercise. What's that mean? I don't know what that means. OGKB or strawberry chocolate? Strawberry chocolate. How come book release date isn't 4/20? Because we wanted everybody to get the book before 4/20 so that we can make edibles together, right? That's the goal. We want to be cooking together, making recipes together. Okay, so should we jump into this? Let's fucking jump into this. I'm gonna get rid of this. Oh, I don't want to get rid of that because that's our chat. I wonder if it's popped out though, if it matters. And then I wanted to Let me see. I have some things for us to watch. I wanted to watch something about the DEA and rescheduling cannabis. Ciao a tutti. Ciao a voi. Joelvis. Come stai? I'm on a gummy right now, says Joy. You're out of flour. I was out of flour. And I just was like, maybe I'm just going to take a little break and just eat some edibles for a bit. Strawberry chocolate is swamp water fumes and strawberry guava. Thanks for rec. Honestly, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Can you ask me a full question? Eddie Moretti, I wonder how are the fires in LA today? I don't want to talk about that. It's too sad. They've not increased. There aren't any new fires. I know that. The air is not good though. I'll tell you that. I went for a walk without a mask on by accident, and my lungs did not feel good. So stay hydrated. Okay, so I'm going to pull up this DEA thing. And we're going to switch to hello. Oh no. There we go. Why am I saying first we feast? Ugh. I don't want that. There we go. Nice and big. And let's switch to our Club Sesh. We can't hear her. 1 second.
Industry over the.
Are you guys ready for this? Okay, here we go. Would I choose OG KB or strawberry chocolate? And you said strawberry chocolate. Couldn't make me D up and I let you do it. Do you understand that, like, that's OG KB? Okay, I don't know what you're trying to say. So I'm just going to ignore you now because I feel like you're trying to, like, be rude. And that's not the vibe here. So. Okay. Let's watch this.
Welcome back to Cannabis Coast to Coast News. This is the second section, or B block. I'm Elena Pinto. One of the biggest concerns in the cannabis industry over the past few months, or is it years now, is the process for the DEA to reschedule cannabis off Schedule 1 to 3. That process.
How's this for you? It depends who's growing it. And honestly, I don't even know. I don't know. Is that a good answer? I don't know.
Started with the Health and Human Services recommendation to move cannabis off the most restrictive schedule of the Controlled Substances Act. That report was delivered to the DEA in late August of 2023. That's when delay after delay after delay started in this process. Now, even the delays are being pushed back further as everyone waits for the new administration.
Wait, what? You met Vanessa in Toronto? I had the privilege of working with an MD sitting right beside Vanessa and Miguel Trinidad in Toronto. Miguel and I never were in Toronto together. Maybe we were in New York? Were we in New York together? Why would we have been in New York together? That I don't know about. Hi, Lauren. We're going to keep... Def not trying to be rude. I asked the question. You choose option. You said you didn't know what I was talking about, so I told you being rude. So not me, just you. Okay.
Administration to take over. There is some good news to report that if and when the DEA ever gets around to holding another invite-only testimony, one friend of pro-cannabis media will be on hand to lend her own expertise, research, and passion for cannabis as a medicinal product. It's Dr. Marian McNabb from the Cannabis Center of Excellence right here in Massachusetts. McNabb has been named as one of 24 expert witnesses in the next round of hearings between January 21st and March 6th. Federal Administrative Law Judge John J.
Bye, SBB 448. You seem like a real delight. Don't let the door hit ya where the good Lord split ya.
Mulroney extended the invitation to another Bay State advocate this week, Ellen Brown, who personally invited Marion this week. It's at
Tennessee. Why are we am I stoned? Why are we talking about Tennessee? We're talking she's in Massachusetts. Food fair in Toronto. Yes, at a food fair at the Toronto Reference Library? Are you sure it was me? You meant me? Working with an MD, sitting right beside Vanessa and Mark. I don't remember. Honestly, I'd have to ask Miguel Trinidad because I do not remember that. And that would be bad. How would anyone ever be upset with Vanessa? Good God. He was like asking me to choose between two strains. And I don't know. I have to I'm not a cultivator. I'm really a nerd about edibles. And I know I like certain strains, but it really depends for me. I like Blue Dream, but maybe it's not the best cultivator. Maybe it's not, you know what I mean? Depends who it's coming from. I don't know. I feel like he was trying to set me up to be like, you're a stupid chick because he hates women. And that's sucks. And it's sad for him. So let's not give him any attention because he doesn't need it. And let's keep watching this interesting video about whether or not the DEA is going to do anything, which sounds like they're not. I was the stage manager for the venue. Toronto. This is so bad if I don't remember that. Are you sure it was me? I'll have to ask Miguel. He asked me if I was okay. Marigold chocolates. Okay, that's me. Can you send me info? I think it's funny how much weed and mushrooms you can get in Washington, D.C. Dank 41NC. Really? D.C. has some interesting rules. I think it's totally legal. Weed does that. You think I just totally forgot? I don't remember being in Toronto with Miguel. I'm going to text him right now. No, it's too late there. Nah, I can't text him that late. I know he's a chef. He's probably at work, but I don't text people. I don't text people out lately. Hi Bonbon. Now she wants to torture me. She got off of her chair. This is her routine. Can you go take a nap? Let me give her a treat so she leaves me alone, which I know is bad. Don't get on me, okay? Just give me a second. You need to sit. Can you sit? I'm going to give you a treat, but not because you jumped on me. Okay. Sit. Good girl. Take your treat. Okay, that'll buy me 2 minutes before she's bouncing on my arm again. Okay, where's this chart? Where's the money, Lebowski? DC also is federal law. Interesting, Harry Lee. Blue Dream, oh, she's crying now. Now she's crying. I can get THCA all day long, but I want just THC in Alabama. Joy, so you're getting hemp THCA. So this is THCA as well. But this is, this plant is grown to be covered in terpenes and cannabinoids. Hemp is not. It's grown for fiber. So, it has to be 0.03% THCA or less. THCA is just the raw form of THC, right? So you want, it's hard, it's so silly, cannabis THCA, and we need to legalize. I mean, let's watch her, okay? Let's see what she has to say about the DEA, and then we're going to get into history and religion. We got plenty of time, and Winslow, our live stream producer, he got me a party pack of Garden Society Brighter Day joints. I love it. Eddie Moretti, we had our Psychonauts TV channel taken down. That sucks. Wait. Has anyone here ever bought psychedelics online? Like, I see these sites with DMT pens and such, but I don't know if they're legit or crappy and stuff. I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. Thanks, Dean P. I have makeup on. Tiger says, yeah, I know about DMT. I'm 46. I bet you there's 46-year-olds out there that don't know about DMT. Hi, Goldilocks Zone. Hey, Madam Dram. Some of my club members are here. Yo, I clicked on this thumbnail because I thought she was Jamie Lynn Siegler. Oh my God, that's so funny. I've heard it before, babe. I'm Sicilian, okay? I'm the real deal. I'm Calabrese and Sicilian. 90%, but mostly Sicilian. So when they cast Meadow Soprano, they cast her to look like me. So bravo at whatever casting director cast her, because I get it all day long, and I could not be any more Italian. I guess I could be 100%. Test everything. Bunk Police makes great analog testing kits. I just smoke weed, man. I don't even drink. You know? I just really like pot. Sometimes I've had mushrooms before, but that is like more of a commitment for me. That's more like I need to process something, or like using it more in that kind of way. Whereas cannabis is, it's like a day. I'm trying to use it less, smoke it less, more so. But it's more of a, gabagool. Yeah, that's right, Christopher. Careful there, okay? Joy doesn't drink either. Yeah, I don't, it's not for me. Okay, so what we're looking into right now is breaking news. DEA judge, and they're canceling the hearings to reschedule cannabis, which sucks. If you didn't know, cannabis in the United States is Schedule 1, which is the same as heroin. So the states have their own. They have their own. Are you still crying about that treat, Bon? My dog is still. She cries. The states have their own rules, and then the federal government has their rules, DEA. And so it makes it really difficult to operate in the industry in a lot of ways. We don't need to get into all of that unless you really want me to. But let's keep watching. Look the same as Meadow, almost like sisters. Thank you. Petra doesn't drink either.
At the end of those hearings, that Mulrooney is expected to issue a non-binding decision to the DEA supporting or rejecting President Biden's administration ask to move cannabis to Schedule 3. McNabb will be one of the 24 invited experts who are considered pro-cannabis. 15 of those experts are for the rescheduling, if not descheduling the plant medicine. Okay, it's a good thing, we hope. Now, in the same week this was happening, the DEA, though, has come under fire by many advocates who feel that they have been favoring testimonies from more prohibitionists than advocates. That same law judge, John J. Mulrooney, had a busy week asking the DEA to respond to that charge this week. There are now allegations that
Okay,
the
Petra.
DEA gave prohibitionists preferential treatment in these hearings, contrary to the directives put forth by President Biden's administration.
What do you all think about a Schedule 3? I mean, obviously it's better than Schedule 1, but then it makes it like ketamine, right? So we'd go back to, well, not go back. Some of us are just medical, but it would be, I'm assuming it would be like the medical industry. Pro Cannabis Media looks like a good channel. I'm going to subscribe. I already did. I'm subscribed, you see? Boop. Xavier says weed being Schedule 1 is ridiculous. I totally agree with you. It's ridiculous. And the fact that it's taken this long to reschedule it, I mean, I think we all know why. But there's still a stigma around it. I think the only reason that I think a lot of conservatives like to smoke pot, and I also think that it's pretty bipartisan, but just the medicinal benefits of it. How do you deny those? Do I have makeup on my finger? Probably. I don't know. It's crazy how cannabis gets such a bad rap. I mean, it really does.
So now you know why we use the term cannabis standard time. One step forward and two steps backward, right, in order to delay
It takes so long. I remember someone years ago told me like, "Oh, I'll wait until it's federally legal," and I was like, "Okay." You'll be too late by then.
Making any moves at all. In the meantime, more and more dispensaries are going out of business.
Yep.
Access to banks is denied regularly, and many.
Look, I didn't even have to say anything. She's going to go into the issue of it not being federally legal. We cannot bank, especially if you're a dispensary. They will shut you down. So
employees are losing their jobs and farms are shutting down. It sounds like it might be a good time to check in with one of the nation's first states to legalize adult use sales, Colorado. Here's.
Okay, let me read your comments. 1 second. Oklahoma is a good. Wait 1 second. DNP, whatever schedule they make it is fine, as long as we can still walk into a store and buy it. I totally agree. Jeff Tharp, better, but shouldn't be with K. I mean, yeah, I think it should be like alcohol. Zach Cole, in which alcohol, they're starting to like put some regulations in about alcohol too. Zach Cole, Oklahoma is a good example of conservatives liking pot. Totally. Actually, I think Oklahoma has the most dispensaries in the country, I think. Jeff Tharp should be with alcohol. Totally agree. Dean P, it should be a similar bracket as alcohol since the process of buying it is pretty much the same. Agreed. I mean, it's better. In my opinion, it's healthier than alcohol. Less so than when we smoke it, but when you eat it, the medicinal benefits of cannabis, from anti-inflammatory to anti-seizure. I don't know the right word for that. I'm sorry. And just, for me, like helps me want to eat more. So, which I haven't really needed help with lately. I need help eating less. Okay. So Joyce says we've got some more here. Maybe the tobacco and alcohol companies don't want the competition. Dan, that maybe could be true. I mean, I think they're trying to get into it. I don't think they see it as competition. I think they see it as the next frontier, Dean P, I like potheads way more than alcohol. Alcoholics, they're easier to deal with. I cook with alcohol. I like what alcohol to me is a solvent. And it's something that you can use to transfer flavor. That's how I see alcohol. I don't see it as a mechanism to get intoxicated. That's not the kind of intoxicated I like to be. I don't need to talk more. I don't need to say stupid shit. And you know what I mean? Like, I anytime I get into an argument or I hear someone else has gotten into an argument, I'm always like, I wonder if they were drunk, you know? And usually they were. So, stoned, not so much. You know, you might get like a passive aggressiveness. Were they passive aggressive? Maybe they were stoned. Hi, Bonbon. Yes, you got your treat. That's all the treats for you. You can't break into the cabinet. I put a little thing on it so you can't get in. Like a child lock because you're just a baby. Yeah, you want to throw up because you ate too many treats. What's up? No. No more. No. Oh my God, she like nodded yes to me. No. Bonbon, no. Okay. I'm gonna ignore her now. Sorry. Let's keep watching. You can't bank. Sorry, I got distracted by my dog pulling on my arm. You can't bank because banks are federally insured. So.
Xavier Gillet.
I'm Xavier Gillet, chairman of the Colorado chapter of the Cannabis Chamber of Commerce and a non-legal consultant with the McDonald Hopkins law firm. The news cycle this week in Colorado has been relatively slow, so I thought this would be a great opportunity here at the start of the year to draw attention to opportunities for networking, business development, and mingling with like-minded professionals in the Colorado cannabis industry. There are 3 regularly recurring networking events that I want to draw your attention to. The first of those is hosted by the Cannabis Industry Associates. They occur on a monthly basis, typically on a Wednesday.
I don't know what he's talking about, but I want to read your comments, and we'll just let him talk until she comes back. Wait. I like potheads. We read that. Sorry, Dean. Jeff Tharp should not have to be cash. Cash brings crime. I totally agree. We should be able to put it in the bank. They'll take the money. Hey, they'll take the cash, the government, and they will put it into their bank for taxes, right? Banks, no problem there. So it's fucked. I'm trying to read these all. Joy, I want to open up a cannabis bakery in Alabama and use Vanessa's cookbook. I have plans. Dang, okay. Get it. On-site consumption is tricky. You should look into that. On-site, it's called on-site consumption. And I think different places will hopefully, you know, I could see maybe like a city like New York being like, let's do on-site consumption. Let's have cafes. Most people here are using public transportation, but a lot of places don't allow it. It has to be like lab tested and packaged and stuff. Oh, here she is. She's back.
Their Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, announces he's resigning as soon as his Liberal Party can elect a new leader.
I know.
Then President-elect Donald Trump decides that Canada would make a great 51st state. But needless to say, that did not go over well with
That
Canadians.
was so rude.
Here's our own Canadian
a lot of them
correspondent,
liked
Debbie
it.
Facey.
A lot of them liked it.
This is Debbie Facey with the Canadian Coast to Coast Cannabis News. So what we have in Canada this week is Canada finally making it a little bit more easier for the small businesses and the businesses that have been having trouble successfully being within the industry, a little bit easier when it comes to them entering and being able.
Joy, you're going to figure it out. There's a will. There's a way. Canada is, yeah. I bought my Canadian legal weed today. See Young. Wait, I've missed so many comments. Here, boy, tax the sugar and corn, fermented, diluted before you go blind. See Young, I bought my Canadian legal weed today. It's expensive though. Oh really? The under the table online outfits are so much cheaper. Yeah, because they don't have to pay for lab testing. They don't need to buy child resistant packaging. They don't, you know what I mean? Like they don't need to make sure that there's no mold in their shit. So it's all, you know, I don't like, even if I grew my own weed, I'd send it in for lab testing because I do not trust myself. I know there are really good legacy growers who are not in the legal market and people who really know what they're doing. And they do, like they'll use labs on their flower, but there's a reason it's more expensive. The taxes are nuts, which, is a good segue for me to say you should get your medical card through leafwell.com. I smoke a lot of weed, eat a lot of edibles, and if you don't have a medical card, I just think it's a good way. Actually, let me get it here. I just think it's a good way to protect yourself, right? I have a medical card. What? Hi. I'm saying hi to my dog. We're going to keep watching this. Don't worry. I just get really distracted. P, you're here? How's your nephew's play? Let's hear it. This guy seems good, clean cut, a good spokesperson. Oh my gosh, these comments, there's a lot of comments. We might have to, what is this goal? Make a super chat, 10 super chats. Oh, wow. Show how you'll celebrate. How should we celebrate if we reach a goal? I don't know what this means, but let's try it. I've never tried this. 10 super chats. If we have 10 super chats, what should we do? You tell me. I haven't tried this before, so I'm very interested to see how it goes, okay? Where did our chat go for me? This is too small for my eyes. Oh, I think this is... Let me go back because this is my chat. This is cool. Catch me if you can. Medical paved the way. Definitely get your card. Did I give you LeafWell? Oh, you're looking at LeafWell. Okay, so you can use this LeafWell. Here's the code. I think it's just Marigold. Put in Marigold and you'll get 15% off. Isn't that cool? So you can get it. There are too many chats. So we're going to do a goal, 10 super chats, and you tell me what we should do. Should I bake a cookie and I'll eat it? I guess that's only good for me. Bon Bon, oh, your bone is covered. She has a bone she wants. When I come back, have an idea. I'm sorry. Okay. Ooh. Oh, so, put on a short skirt. Christopher Brady, this is not that kind of show. Medical paved the way. Definitely get your card. Nice. I'm glad I ran into your channel. Hi, Eric Gudino. First, I thought you were the girl from The Sopranos. Then I looked up your name. I noticed you were from Vice. Yes, that's me. Bon appetit. D Money Green, I can get the Cali exempt. You look amazing tonight. Thank you. I just put on a nice sweater and some makeup. Anyway, we were watching this and I was going to do a super chat. Can you turn up the volume on the YouTube video? Of course. Let me turn this up here. Tell me how this is.
Able to transfer their licensing. This is going to be not only a positive for anyone that wants to enter the industry, but it's also going to be beneficial for anyone that wants to be able to take over a license and has the money to be able to do that. Next, what we have is Manitoba finally getting the go-ahead of being able to create and grow at home. This is something that they have been fighting for since legalization.
Hi, Marvin.
And is finally getting into play. This is going to be something that is not only beneficial for Manitobians, but for the industry as well, because the fact that now medical patients will be able to grow their own as well as recreational. So when it comes to the seed industry, it's always going to be a plus. This is Debbie Facey with the Canadian Coast to Coast News Report. Peace.
I'm Doug Miller from High on Wall Street with this week's
Christopher
Cannabis Stock
Brady,
Report for
behave.
Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
No.
Agrify Corp is selling its cannabis cultivation operation for $7 million to an investment firm affiliated with the company's former CEO, Raymond Chang. Chang said separating business segments will allow Agrify and the acquired cultivation operation to better concentrate efforts going forward. The stock price went from $2.94 on November 1st to over $84 on November 27th. And we went over it right before it reverse split in October. It's now trading around $25.15. So let's see how the stock chart looks after this news. I've been following this one. It appears to be getting to that bottom after it ran up, and now it's pulling back. I think we're going to see that reverse back up soon. So I'll be keeping an eye on it for the bottom. Watch for some dips and trade smart. And that's this week's Cannabis Stock Report. Reporting for Cannabis Coast to Coast News, I'm Doug Miller.
Cool.
Minnesota has yet to open their adult use market yet, and now they are looking for a new director. Charlene Briner was the original director of the OCM, or Office of Cannabis Management. She resigned this week, and Governor Tim Walz now announced that the OCM General Counsel, Eric Tabell, will serve as an interim director. Now let's check out what's happening in Nevada. And with the Tribal Nations, here's Tina Tasaka.
I'm Tina Tasaka with 420 Technologies, and this is the Nevada and Tribal Nations Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News. The Enterprise Ranchera in Wheatland, California.
I love how everything is all black around her. It's very dramatic.
Has opened a new dispensary near Sacramento, California. Yo Aura will offer premium flower, edibles, wellness-focused tinctures, and topicals. Yo Aura blends tribal heritage with innovation that creates a space that honors their past while embracing their future. Congratulations to this tribe, and you can visit them at www.yo-aura.com. International Star Inc., through its subsidiary Budding Equity LLC, is hitting the jackpot in cannabis innovation by partnering with industry leader Priscilla Vilchis of Premium Products LLC to bring premium cannabis brands to Nevada. Known for collaborations with cultural icons like Lil' Kim and Ric Flair, Vilchis brings unmatched expertise and market success to this venture. The partnership will see Premium Product managing the manufacturing and distribution of Budding Equity's innovation products with an anticipated launch in select Nevada dispensaries by the end of Q1. Nevada's legal cannabis sales have been declining since peaking at over $1 billion in 2021, with competition from the illicit market, responsible for up to 1/3 of sales posing challenges. Legal dispensaries reported $829 million in taxable sales for the fiscal year ending June 2023, continuing a downward trend. The Cannabis Compliance Board, CCB, cites high taxes, product costs, and potency concerns as factors driving consumers to unregulated sellers. CCB enforcement focuses on licensed businesses, leaving illegal operations largely unchecked. Calls for stronger enforcement and public awareness campaigns are growing. Quote, until we're putting resources into enforcement, there's no reason unlicensed sales will stop, unquote, says Lake Martin of the Nevada Cannabis Association. This news source came from Nevada Independent, January 6th. That's it for the Nevada highlights and Tribal Nations. I'm Tina Tasaka with 420 Technologies and Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
One of the emerging success stories in the rollout of adult use states is in New Jersey. That state reached the $1 billion sales plateau in 2024.
Good
but
job,
now
Jersey.
It's their social equity initiative that is making headlines.
Do I need to go to Jersey and like do a whole Sopranos? Like go to some of the places of the Sopranos that make content and pretend. I just wish I could meet her. Wouldn't that be crazy if we stood next to each other? You guys could decide for real.
40.
Do you think she's a stoner? I don't think she's a stoner.
47% of cannabis operations in New Jersey originated from that community that was hurt the most by the failed war on drugs. Here's Jill Goldsberry with more from the state of New Jersey.
I'm Jill Goldsberry with the New Jersey/Garden State Cannabis Report, and this is Cannabis Coast to Coast News. And here's what's happening in our neck of the woods. This week, we actually had a report from the Cannabis Regulatory Commission stating that 47% of adult use recreational license holders are minorities. So 47% is a big number. It's almost half in the state of New Jersey. And what we're finding is that out of that 47%, a large part of those business owners driving the business in the state of New Jersey are women.
Wow, good for them.
And we're talking about dispensaries.
Love it.
Actual flower products.
Love to hear
it. And edibles as well. So had a little brain fart there. But yeah, edibles, flower, and dispensaries are driving the industry, and a lot of these businesses are owned by women. Here are a few you might want to check out. You may want to check out
because it's a female plant. You know? So that's right.
Out the Joy Leaf Dispensary, Nightjar, owned by a woman, Butter Cake, Edibles, and Precious Cannabis, which is a pre-roll company. So those are giving you a couple of places to check out if you're in the state of New Jersey and you're looking for some women-owned brands. In other news, you may be able to order
Hi, Boston Boss
with your pizza
How
very
are you?
soon.
How you doing?
Because DoorDash is now offering to deliver your cannabis products.
That's wild.
Or, THC directly.
That's wild.
But you will have to look at your local DoorDash menu to see if it's actually being offered. And we don't know exactly when this is going to start. This literally just came out the other day.
Ronnie Blue Eyes. Does that work?
So check it out on your next DoorDash one. I'm Jill Goldsberry with the New Jersey Garden State Cannabis Report, and this is Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
That'll do it
Jen,
for the
I
big
heard
block
that.
of this week's Cannabis Coast to Coast News. When we come back, we'll introduce you to...
I heard that, Jen, that she has MS. I wonder if she uses cannabis. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I'm sure it just depends how she feels with it, but...
to one of the new correspondents. This one is the Chicago clone guy. So what's better, growing with seeds or a small baby clone plant? We'll talk to the clone guy from Chicago coming up.
Let's talk to the clone guy. Let's talk to him.
It's a whole new world of weed out there, isn't it? Everyone is learning new ways to titrate, ingest, consume, imbibe, and engage with this plant medicine we call cannabis. Now, let me tell you my cannabis story. I've had 4 major surgeries in the past 23 years and suffer from osteoarthritis.
Oh, shit. No.
And then you throw in the...
No, I don't want to watch Bobby Flay. Shit. Where did he go? Was it here? I'm sorry. Here. Right? He was talking about whatever he was talking about.
Cannabis. Now, let me tell you my cannabis story. I've had 4 major surgeries.
This is Pro Cannabis Media. They have almost 15,000 subscribers. Not bad. Better than me. Have you subscribed to my channel?
In the past 23
Let me know
years
if you're
and suffer
new here.
from osteoarthritis with a variety of metal parts in my body and one on deck. Now, thanks to those chronic pain issues, I've been a medical patient in Massachusetts for almost 10 years now. I remember my first trip to a dispensary just outside of Boston, and I told the bud tender I didn't want to smoke it anymore. So I tried edibles, then tinctures, then vaping, and now if I'm going to smoke, I only use the Weegets filtration system. What? The Weegets.com, Weegets, that's weed, W-E-E-D, G-E-T-S.com,
Hi, Dragon
is where
Master.
you'll find the planet's coolest product that cools the smoke
Nice
from
to meet
everyone's
you.
favorite
Hola.
flower. The guy that started this was a pretty
Welcome,
good medical device
Eric
manufacturer,
Gudino,
and he
welcome.
created this maze pipe that cools the smoking process from 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit upon inflammation down to just 90 degrees when it reaches your mouth. That's right.
Wow.
1,300
Okay,
down
so
to
this
90.
is an
That's
ad.
why
We're not going to watch this. That's cute, though. I like them. My dog, she fell asleep there. Do you guys want me to try and put her in her bed so we can have Bonbon Cam? Do you want me to see if she'll go in the bed? Do you care about a Bonbon Cam? Hit like, baby. Made sure to sub. Thank you, Olds. I appreciate it. Welcome. This is my live stream. I go live every Wednesday. And if you haven't been to the kitchen sesh on Saturdays, you are in for a treat. This is fun, but that's where it gets wild. Okay, Adam Armstrong wants Bonbon Cam. I think we should try. She's pretty passed out. She might let me. Okay? We'll see. She might not. She might. Because she ate. Because I gave her all those treats. See, there was a reason. No, bummer. No, I'm not giving you any more treats. Do you see her? I'm sorry. I tried. She's not having it today. It's okay. Mama, go lay in your bed. All right. So we watched this, and then let's get into what we're really... That was very interesting. I love that news channel. That was great. We should watch that again sometime. It was a cool part of the sesh. But I want to... There you go. You can see her. She's like, I'll just sit right here. There you go. There's my bonbon. She's so cute. She's like, fine. You want me to be on my mark? Ugh. I just don't want to be in frame. I just, I don't want to be in focus. I mean, I just want to be out of focus. Just let me sleep. She's such a diva. Okay, so let's see what the next thing is that we're gonna watch. It's all about the history, right? So, oops. I don't know what's going on with my computer. 1 second. This is weird. It's not working. I'll send it from here. Oops, not this. Sorry, you guys. I'm just trying to send myself something. There I am. Boop. Hello. There's a lot of people here. Hi, Hazel. How you doing? How you doing? What's she doing? Uh-oh. Action, you guys. Oh, Bonbon, you tell him. Who is it? Who's it? Oh, Bonbon. Oh, tell him. Tell him. I encourage it. I'm so bad. Okay, that's enough. It's not that dramatic, Bonbon. Sometimes she sees coyotes, so I don't blame her for barking, Okay, but that's a little loud. Bonbon, we're live. We are live streaming.
Nowadays, cannabis plays a hugely important role in our society, but the plant's history is a little harder to parse. So what did 420 look like 2 millennia ago? Much of what we know about ancient Rome's relationship to cannabis comes from a small number of scattered texts. Any cups, bowls, or containers used to house cannabis have been long destroyed and can't be chemically analyzed. And even though cannabis shows up in ancient literature, it's never directly explained, as the audience of the time wouldn't have needed such explanation. Think about it. If a play written in 2023 featured a scene in which...
That is why I got Bonbon. I heard a story about, like, I don't know if it's true or not, but it basically was like some serial killer came to get a woman, and for some reason he let her go. I don't know why. And he was like, to keep yourself safe, like, get a dog, you know, like, get something. So I don't know if that's true, but I was like, cool, any excuse to get a dog. So I love Bonbon. She keeps me safe. I only smoke charcoal. It's good to purify the lungs. I don't know about that. That sounds
a character casually popped a couple of aspirin. Would that character go on a detailed diatribe about aspirin's function, purpose, creation, and role in society? Almost certainly not. And yet, many aspects of Roman cannabis usage will be strangely familiar to us today. The first documented use of marijuana was in 2800 BCE in China, before the plant traveled through India, the Middle East, Greece, and Rome. It was commonly used to treat arthritis, asthma, depression, pain, and other medical conditions. By the 1st century, the Romans knew it enough to distinguish between wild and domesticated cannabis, that is, marijuana and hemp. During this period, people around the world would have pressed cannabis to make hash or resin, passed water through it like tea, or thrown the psychoactive strain over heat and inhaled it.
Ah, man. That's some heavy shit.
Cannabis found its way into Roman society in part through medicine, and much of that medical knowledge came from Greece. In fact, it's impossible to talk about cannabis in ancient Rome without talking about Greece. Our most methodical and thorough source of information comes from the Greek physician Pedanius Dioscorides, who in 77 CE compiled his 5-volume tome, De Materia Medica, which translates to On Medical Matters. This text catalogs the descriptions and medical applications of 600 herbs, roots, stems.
2800 BC. Can I put the frame down a little bit? Oh, wait. Like that? Oh, wait. No, I know what to do. Here, like this. Oh my God, you guys, look at who's here. Are you seeing this? Bonbon is watching out for you. She is, I know. Is that good for the frame? Ever heard of black lung, charcoal, no stoop? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Let's not talk about charcoal. We're not talking about charcoal. We're talking about weed. Okay? Get with the program. Okay? This is my class. This is not your class. So I want you to pay attention. The topic today is cannabis in history, ancient times, and religious practices. We had a little bit of news to catch up with current events in the industry. We're seshing, we're smoking, we're having a good time. So don't give me any bullshit or I will kick you out. There you go. Kokobo.
Fruits, vines, and animal products in great detail. He says that opium, for instance, makes for a good anesthetic during surgery. Dioscorides separates cannabis into cannabis amaros and cannabis agria.
Does Vanessa have someone to monitor her chat?
Cannabis amaros acts as birth control and reduces...
Usually I have Winslow, but to be honest, so Winslow lives in Altadena, so he, his house is fine, except for they don't have any power, and it is still under like evacuation notice, so he can't go back there quite yet. And so he's like, you know, he's living his life. He doesn't get paid to monitor, but because he just kind of would join to hang out. I always pay him extra. Don't worry about Winslow. I take care of my people. But I can ask him to join since there's so many people. can you tell me something? Where are you coming from? Are you coming from Instagram? Are you coming from YouTube? Or I know a lot of you, I recognize a lot of the handles. Obviously, I know my people. Definitely know my patrons from Patreon, the Edibles Club. That's my club. I'm just curious where everyone's from while we continue our lesson. Just wondering where the audience is coming from. Winslow is a great friend. I've known Winslow for many, many years. So, Howling Man, hell yeah, I'm down. See, you get it. Let's go. This is the
Reduces
vibe.
earaches if eaten. When boiled and topically applied, cannabis agria reduces inflammation and fluid retention and disperses hardened matter around the joints. That is, it helps with our...
I'm so curious. Like, I wonder if they cooked with it, you know, like if the Greeks, like, if anyone had recipes. Like, does anyone have recipes from that? Or they were just kind of doing it more medicinally rather than, you know, like the shit we did on Bon Appetit.
Arthritis. Around the same time, Roman author and naturalist Pliny the Elder echoed Dioscorides in his 37-book-long natural
YouTube
history, although he was far less precise about the subject. Pliny writes that eating cannabis seeds, quote, makes the genitals impotent, and eating its root when boiled eases cramped joints, while its juice regulates the bowels of animals.
Okay, so I've actually heard that before. I've heard that the roots are very good for intestinal. Now, this is not proven, okay, but anecdotally, roots. And I had a chicken soup in Thailand on Koh Tao, where we used the cannabis roots to put them in the soup like you would a bay leaf. You know, they were dried and put into chicken soup.
Pliny also claims the juice of the plant drives out of the ears the worms and of any other creature that has entered them, which might refer to treating earaches. Even though hemp bags, shoes, and clothing might be more of an ecological fashion statement nowadays than anything else, it seems that the ever-practical Romans valued the practice.
Just 1 second. Psychedelic Sig Cider. Are you going to be on the Dr. Green Thumb show tomorrow? I totally am. I'm going to be on the Dr. I actually have to make... So we stream for a while. You can come and go. Do as you please. But I have to make a tres leches for the live tomorrow and like microdose it so they can have like 1 or 2 slices. So yeah, I'm going to be on Be Real show tomorrow. Joy, thank you for sharing my live. That's very sweet of you. I use psyllium fiber for digestive. Me too. Jeff Tharp, I'm telling the world about you, Vanessa. We are watching Mamacita. Gracias. Mil gracias. I just found you on YouTube. Well, welcome. This is my stream. You don't even know what you just found. So Wednesdays are just like the club. Not just, okay? Wednesdays are awesome. Weed Wednesdays. We chill. We sesh. I smoke pot. We, sometimes it's like current events. It depends. We learn things together, okay? We investigate. We're curious. We're curious, and we're cannabis enthusiasts. And then Saturdays are the cooking sesh, the kitchen sesh. Kitchen sesh. And that's where I infuse edibles live in the kitchen. So you should definitely tune in to that as well. That's at 1:20 on Saturdays. So I'm trying to stay hydrated. E-Zone on Dr. Green Thumb show wants you to cook up something that's guaranteed to send him to the hospital. LOL. I'm not doing that because it's not his cake. Pedro asked me to make it, not E-Zone. So he can request something else. And then I'll make it like super dosed. But this was something... Dro brought me weed and like merch and stuff like that. It's so nice. And he always like coordinates when I come on the show and I don't like to bother Be Real, like I'm very selective on when I I reach out to him directly. So I always try to, like, if it's kind of coordinating stuff, I go through Pedro's. So I just wanted to like make him a cake because he's like, do you ever make a tres leches? I'm like, I have not made a tres leches, but I will make one. So if you want to see how that turns out, tune in tomorrow to B-Roll show, and I will be there. I don't know if we'll eat it on the show. I mean, it's up to Pedro. It's his cake. Joy, my dream is to grow my own. Yes, I wish you. My friend Casey grows her own, and her garden looks so amazing. I need to go visit her. She's a chef too. So I had an amazing team for the photo shoot. Obviously, I've talked about it a lot. This is my cookbook, how to eat weed and have a good time. There is a bikini photo in here, in case you were wondering, because it's a good time, pool party. So Casey was the food stylist on this. I don't want to give it all away, so I won't. But there's thrice baked potatoes, and there's a lot of humor in this. She's a very talented food stylist, and I can't wait for you all to see this book. It is so beautiful. I'm trying to not piss off my publisher and show too much. I'm trying to remember what here's the back of it. So very excited about that. And Casey grows a lot of pot. She's a stoner. So we had a lot of fun on the shoot. And psychedelic 6 cider. So cool. Welcome. I'm an edible maker. I was a co-host on a cannabis cooking show called Bong Appetit. I had short brown hair on that show, and now it's obviously not short and brown. I'm so happy a bikini photo. I'm straight, but Vanessa is hot. Thanks so much, Joy. I'm glad you appreciate that. I was like, I'm not going to do a bikini photo in a book probably ever again, but you never know. Depends how many copies we sell. Okay. If we make it on some bestseller lists, maybe. Oh shit. Do I need to film my, oop, no, I got it. Do you have a good gummy recipe? Yes, I do. There's a oh shit, my mechanic is calling. 1 second, let me take this. Gotta check on Carmen. Hello. How are you? I'm doing okay. Fluid. Right. Right. Oh. Not good. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Well, it sounds like I have to do it all. What is the total? Okay. Can I give you a call back? Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye. You guys, it is not good. Hazel, do a second season with Be Real? Yes. Ricky Francois, Vanessa top tier, Def deserves to raise it more. Agreed on her being top tier. Thank you. Yeah, it's not good, you guys. Basically $3,000. At a really bad time. Offering to Venmo. Will you help me pay for Carmen? There's so many better things to pay for. You guys want to help me fix my truck? The Venmo is the Edibles Club. It's $3,000. I do not have that right now to spare for my girl. So I don't know what I'll do to repay you. It's $2,700 with an oil change, basically. Here's how he explained it. Brake fluid was dripping. The reason I brought it in was because my brake light was turning on when my emergency brake wasn't in or wasn't on. And so what it was is brake fluid dripping. I think it was brake fluid dripping on a rubber part that was connected to the light. And that's not good. So that whole process of doing that, ordering parts for it, is $1,800. And then there's this other thing that they had told me about before. He's like, it's fine for now, but eventually you're going to have to fix it. Well, ding dong, the fucking it needs to be fixed. So I've noticed, I can tell, like when you drive an old car, you can tell that when something's up, right? So I haven't been driving it because the car talks to me. It kind of like, it'll, on certain things, it's like, hey, I'm not happy. And when I go and I take it in, it's good. Other side, sounds like a scam. No, I don't think it's a scam. That's 2 months rent. I'm broke. Yeah. Well, don't look at the rents in Los Angeles right now if you want to talk about rent. Okay? So, yeah, I'm not happy about this. Anyway, never trust the mechanic. I've been going to this guy for a really, really, really long time. I could go take it to someone else and maybe they'll say it's like less. I guess I could. $3,000 is another car territory. No, it's okay. Old cars can be money pits. Well, I don't pay anything for car insurance, and I don't pay like nothing for car insurance, and I don't pay anything for like monthly on it. So it's kind of like I just kind of bop around. Like I said in my stories, I probably should sell it, but I really love it, and it sucks. So we'll see what happens. I'll figure something out. I always do. Let's keep watching history because I don't want to be bummed out right now.
Practical uses of cannabis above its medical uses. Our modern idea of hemp is that of cannabis.
Let me ask him. Maybe he can text me. The work is like the battery has some kind of buildup on it. I guess that happens with batteries. Is that bullshit? I don't know. The other thing is it's vintage Petra. It's not vintage. It's an 86, It's not a dealership. They lie a lot because that's what dealerships make their... It's not a dealership. This is like a old school mechanic. I like them. Eric Gudino, what do you like to smoke, indica or sativa? Yeah, I think I'm going to tell him not the battery. I'm going to tell him fuck off with that battery. I'm going to tell him what I can spend. I'm going to be like, listen, I can't afford that right now. So I need you to just do what you can do and do me a solid, because I send you guys a lot of business and I need a favor right now. I need a kindness. Thank you. And I'll see what I can get it to. So I'll talk to them. Yeah. That's what I'll tell him. Exactly, Eddie. Okay, Ursulicious Marvin, corrosive buildup is a thing. That is what he said. I don't think these guys are lying to me, you know? Like, they don't want a bad review. And people are pretty savvy these days. You can Google stuff. But, yeah, he just wants to order the parts. I'll get by. Problems lead to solutions. Solutions open doors. Howling man. I'm working on it. Old school mechanics that you know and trust are good. That's I've been going to these guys for a really long time. I don't want to, like, you know. But I feel like I gotta call him back and tell him. I guess he's not gonna order any parts tonight. I'm sure I can call him tomorrow morning. Let me see what time they close. Sorry, you guys. I got a little distracted. 6 p.m. So 50% off to mention the mechanic on YouTube Live. I don't think so. Petra, he doesn't care about edibles. Adam Armstrong, you are a celebrity. I am an edible maker. I'm an entrepreneur who's in a very complicated industry. Meta does not want me to promote my book. Every time I advertise my book, because of the title, How to Eat Weed, you know, how to eat weed, that weed, and have a good time, they flag the content. Amazon, normally my publisher would like pay for a big banner on Amazon. They can't do that with my book. So it's a really complicated business that I'm in. Not easy. Yep. Well, Meta can go to you nowhere. That's true. Okay, I'm going to call him and tell him I'm going to call him in the morning. 1 second. Hi, it's Vanessa. I'm okay. How are you doing? I'm okay. I have like an air purifier. I have a couple of air purifiers that my friend lent me, and they've really made a difference. Yeah. So but my house is safe. I'm in a safe neighborhood. So it's tragic. The stories, it's overwhelming. What's happened to the city. I was wondering when I came in, how you guys were doing, if anyone from the shop had anything happen. Yeah. That's so nice. I mean, I think the one kind of thing that was uplifting were how many people have given time, volunteered, given money, given clothing, to toiletries, all of that stuff to try and help people recover. Yeah. Right. I was just going to say the worst thing about all of this has been the rent gouging, which is illegal. You can't do that. Right. Right. He just saw money. That's horrible. That's horrible. Well, no, I wouldn't blame yourself. Right. Help people. Right. Right. It's all over the city. Yep. Right. No. Yeah. It's been, yeah. I don't, I've heard stories and I've read things, and it's, sucks for as many people who are out there.
Cannabis with a tetrahydrocannabinol content of 0.
Right. Right. I feel so bad for people. I feel so bad for the community. It was such a beautiful, is such a beautiful community, and yeah. 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 No, it was a lot of people had moved there, and there's a lot of artists in Altadena, and anyway. Well, Gary, so I'm so sorry. I have to run, but I needed to call you guys because my truck is in there and she needs a lot of work. I think you know that. Ignition distributor. Okay. No, it was the brake light the emergency brake light is on when the emergency brake is in. And I guess what is happening. Yeah. What is leaking? Master cylinder is leaking. Brake flash. Okay. I know. And I just really, Gary, I have to be honest with you. I love my truck, but that if I could do it in like small chunks or something, but it's a little bit more than I can bite off, right? Or, Thank you so much. Gary, I have a pretty decent following, and I want you to know I am always plugging your shop. And if I can make you anything, if you guys want cookies or anything like that, I'm a very good baker. And I so appreciate you. And, I'm sending you a lot of love. Right. Yep. Okay. Thank you so much. And bye. Okay, you guys. I don't know what just happened, but Gary is definitely going to get some cookies. Okay? So There you go. And that is not a euphemism for anything. That is just me. I'm going to make him some chocolate chip cookies. I have some in my freezer that I actually would really... Do you guys mind if I bake myself a cookie right now? I'm just going to turn my toaster oven on, okay? 1 second. Okay. Preheating the oven. Okay, so that was Gary. Let me plug Gary's shop for you guys, because obviously we need to plug Gary right now. So the truck has some work that needs to happen on it. I know it does. I can feel it. Okay, I drive that truck, not that much, because honestly, the dream for the truck, and that's what this stream is going to be about. Eventually, what's going to happen is Carmen is going to be in a garage. And she's not going to go anywhere. She's just going to be preserved. Like she's slathered in sunblock and never going to see the sun again. And she's just going to sit in a garage and be my studio show where I have guests on and we hotbox Carmen. Carmen was made to be hotboxed in a garage. So I can't get rid of Carmen. And I had to talk to Gary. So thank you for your patience. I appreciate all of you. And what was the result, Adam Armstrong? He basically said, let me talk to the team tomorrow. And like, I just told him I'm pretty blunt with people. Like, I can't swing that right now. I can't do that right now. Like, I need to pay my rent. I need to pay my rent. So, and like LA, so, and that's a big chunk of money. So I've known him for a really long time. He'll let me do it in payments, and I'm sure he'll give me a really good deal. But he was telling me some awful stories, and I won't repeat them because, like, I don't want to, those are his stories to share. But let's just say, like, the landlords in Los Angeles, they should be ashamed of themselves. Shame, just really bad price gouging, really bad price gouging, and just, like, greediness and, like, not wanting to help people out. And I understand, like, people, I don't know, they, like, protect themselves, but... Very blunt with people. Appropriate. Russ Creech. I am. Russ, do you want me to refund you? I did it once and then you sent it back. And Winslow doesn't want to go anywhere. So, and I've asked him, I've been like, do you want me to get you a hotel? Like, do you want, like, I've offered multiple things to him. And I don't want to, like, keep trying to push that on him. So let me know. I'm sorry, but Venmo, like, takes money from it, though. It's really fucking annoying. So I owe Pete some money. Hazel Suarez, we love a straightforward girly. That's me. Ricky Francois, I thought rent out here in NYC is bad. LA is different with this rent gouging. No, this is, like, something new. It's, like, pretty... It's because, because of the fires, all of these people, like, need somewhere to live. And... also, a lot of houses were taken off of the market. Like, that's where I was hoping to move. I loved that neighborhood. It was, like, beautiful. Just nature, and it's just, like, part of the problem. So, not a problem. It was, whatever. What is this? Hey, I don't... Exodus 30:23, cannabis organic means potent cannabis in the exact recipe God gives Moses to make holy anointing oil. Ides Christum, the word Christ literally means anointed cannabis king. I don't know about all that. They said some BS. Bottom line, we want more money. Do not. Okay, I won't, Russ. Okay, I won't. Vergonya, that's the word. Sorry.
0.3% or less.
0.3.
But this definition didn't exist in ancient Rome or Greece.
0.3.
Nevertheless, in the ancient world, certain cannabis plants were considered to be particularly useful for textiles and related products. In natural history, Pliny the Elder describes 3 qualities of cannabis separated by region, which need to be dried, cleaned, and peeled before being used to make different products. The best, he says, comes from a region called Arab Hisar and makes good hunting nets. Dioscorides similarly says that Cannabis amaros is a plant of considerable use in this life for twisting very strong ropes. It is also believed that the Romans used cannabis for rope, boat sails, and wicker goods like baskets, clothing, and shoes. By all accounts, the ancient Romans were far less interested in recreational cannabis use than they were in making textiles. In fact, some historians have suggested that the Romans seemed oddly naive about, or disinterested in, the psychoactive properties of cannabis. That's not to say it wasn't known to the ancient world, though. The Greek comic Ephippus wrote about getting high on cannabis seeds back in the 4th century BCE. A century earlier, the Greek historian Herodotus wrote in the histories about Scythian nomads throwing cannabis on hot coals and tents and howling in their joy at the results. So why so little mention of such uses centuries later? Here we come across the same issue we alluded to before. What happened versus what was written down? Ancient Rome considered itself the most moral of nations and valued modesty, moderation, and temperance above all other virtues, especially as they related to public duties and reputation. Is it unreasonable to conclude that Romans would be unwilling to openly discuss using cannabis recreationally? And yet, in natural history, Pliny the Elder at least describes cannabis as the laughing weed. He also says it can be added to wine to make it even more intoxicating.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Along those lines, it's entirely possible that Roman life might have involved much more recreational cannabis usage than was recorded. Roman values were based around restraint, which in a religious and political sense meant intense conservatism and suspicion of change. Top to bottom, Roman life was steeped in ancestor worship, gods and rites of the home, daily offerings and prayers, ceremonial magic, nature worship, the religion of the state, and so on. In other words, if the Romans were going to adopt cannabis use in any kind of pervasive religious sense, its use would have had to be deeply involved in the foundations of Roman religion, or else be heavily justified in practice. This means that Romans most likely didn't use cannabis directly in religious ceremonies, but in more fuzzy, religion-adjacent areas. That said, it was occasionally seen as a symbolic plant. In the 3rd century CE, Roman dream interpreter Artemidorus mentioned the significance of seeing cannabis fiber in a dream versus seeing a cannabis flower. Nevertheless, while some have speculated that cannabis played an important part in Roman religious rites, there's no real evidence to substantiate such claims, especially when it came to mainstream religion.
Okay, that was interesting, you guys. Very cool. So wait, other side wants me to look up.
My lips are burning.
Wait, not other side. Wait.
This is so stupid.
I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch Hot Ones. Polish anthropologist. Biblical etymology, 1936. Hi, everyone. Just give me a momento. Sulla bene. Let's read. Sarah Benetoa, later known as Sulla Bene, born 1903-1982, was a Polish anthropologist of the 20th century who studied Polish and Judaic customs and traditions. Born in Warsaw, then part of the Russian Empire, Bene was fascinated with Polish peasant culture from early youth. Cannabis research. Based on similar words in cognate languages, Bene proposed that the biblical plants or spices, cannae atob, and cannabosum, which are usually translated as sweet calamus or sweet cane. What the fuck is calamus? Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. In the many Bible translations that followed. Oh, she went back to the couch. We'll turn this off. Hebrew, the root can had a double meaning, both hemp and reed, in that an error originated with the oldest Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible. The 3rd BC, where the terms Kene and Kene Bosem had been translated as sweet calamos in the Beni Bible. I'm sure there's so many mistranslations of the Bible. Very interesting. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Thank you, Inevitable Enterprises. You bought another bong on Sunday? Post it to the Patreon, man. Let's lynch the land. What? And the name says it all. Oh, yeah, that does say it all. Oh, no, Anthony, I think you might be late in the chat. They use it as tender like cotton one. Okay, I want to watch another video while this cookie bakes. Oh, my God, I smell it. It smells so good. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Let me pull this up. Love it. Why is it 20 seconds? What's this countdown? I use sativa flower to find pythons in Florida? What? Helps immensely in spotting them in the foliage? Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Hello everybody. Welcome to another live stream History Bite podcast. And today I'm joined by Chris Bennett and Edward Dodge. Today we're talking about the use of cannabis during the First Temple era. So thank you both for joining me today. And can y'all tell me a bit about the evidence of the use of cannabis in the Temple of Solomon?
Take it away, Chris.
Okay, well, you know, there's no archaeological evidence of the Temple of Solomon, so that'd be, you know, that we should start there. But what we do have is the archaeological evidence of a very ancient Jewish temple in Tel Arad, Jerusalem. And this is an outpost that appears in the biblical narrative, so we know it was a historical site related to the Jews. And it was...
Oh, so that's a good point. So Inevitable Enterprises is saying Acorus calamus is a hallucinogen and also causes cancer. It would give your skin a rash if applied according to anointing oil recipes. So it wouldn't have made sense as an anointing oil. And like, no doubt cannabis is great topically. And what's nice about topical cannabis is that it's localized, right? So you're not going to get high. As long as you don't put your hands in your mouth, you know, like you want to be careful of that. That's always what I tell people when I make a topical and I give it away as a gift to someone. Was I just be careful if you put it on your hands, you rub it into your hands, you go and you eat something, it can rub off onto whatever you're eating and then get into your mouth. And then you're going to get stoned. So just be aware of that. What's going on? The guy in the middle wrote a book about cannabis in Judaism. Wow. This is an amazing podcast. Cool. Psychedelic cider. Yep, I saw that since the fire started, the prices for the fire victims looking for places for rent went way up. Yeah, it's really bad. Eddie Moretti. Jacob Berman is weird, but so smart. I love the child. This is a really great discussion. So glad I found your channel. Me too. Thanks. Welcome. Welcome.
Canceled in the
Every
8th century BCE. And this means that they repurposed the area for other things and canceled this temple site. And I'll go into that after I discuss what was found out. And this is the temple site, the inner temple, what's referred to as the Holy of Holies in Tel Arad, Jerusalem. And they call it the Holy of Holies because of its similar construction to the temple as described in the biblical literature, the Temple of Solomon, the similar layout, although a much smaller version. And in this temple were found 2 altars that we see there on the left and the right. And I should point out that one on the right is probably about 2 feet tall. and the one on the left's not a lot taller.
I don't know what they're
so
talking
this is a very
about.
small area, and it would have been enclosed.
Oh,
and
incense.
on the altar on the left, they found residues of frankincense.
Oh, cool.
And on the altar on the right, they found residues of cannabis resins. The authors of the paper on these altars have actually said that it was likely a hashish preparation.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
then there were 2 standing stones.
Has anyone ever? I don't think I've ever been around frankincense. I don't think I've smelled it. What's it all about?
Now, the preservation of this material was so well held because this site, as I mentioned earlier, was purposely canceled. And this is thought to have been either at the time of Hezekiah's reforms in the 8th century or his grandson's Josiah's. I shouldn't even say reforms. When we see the polytheistic region of Israel and Jerusalem and whatnot become monotheistic under Hezekiah and Josiah, or attempts to make the region monotheistic. I don't think it's fair to call it reforms, as most people do, because it's not clear that it was monotheistic prior to this event. So these altars were knocked over and buried in sand, and a new floor put up over them in a single day. And this accounts for the excellent preservation of the residues on this altar.
Wow.
And this is interesting
because
there had been speculation about the ancient Hebrew use of cannabis based on the etymological research of Sula Bennett, who in 1936 first suggested that the Hebrew terms canna and cannabosum identified cannabis. And as we get on in the show a little later, I'll talk about how Telerad, based on the references that Sula Bennett referred to, can be seen as further corroborative evidence of this linguistic theory, perhaps even proving it. I'll let Ed drop in on a bit of stuff on that.
Yeah, no, I would just, that's all exactly what I would say. I would just add a little bit of detail, which is that they had dug up this Telerad temple quite a while ago. I'm not sure exactly the date when they were doing the original work, and they had noticed this residue on the altars, but they had never done the work to analyze it until just recently. So that paper that Chris was mentioning was only published in the 2020s. That's 2021. It's brand new information. So that archaeological proof that they were burning a hashish preparation there on the incense altar is brand new information, relatively speaking, and gives confirmation to longstanding theories and speculations about cannabis for which we had no real evidence of, but now we do. And now Jacob's got up on the page. I want to point this out as well. This is 2 more pictures of the same site, but you'll notice that one has 2 standing stones and the other has a single standing stone. So this is controversial as well because...
Oh my God, I love that smell. It's so good. Israelis are fucking smart with the first to understand the endocannabinoid system. Dr. Raphael Mechoulam. I talk about him in my cookbook. How to eat weed and have a good time. Very interesting story. There's a documentary about him.
Because the 2 standing stones would be reflective of it being Yahweh and Asherah, that this is, the pagan Yahweh when he was still married to Asherah. But then when some folks, because this is in the Israel Museum,
worship at the
so this is a very big deal, very big tourist site in Israel you can go to. It's very high profile. So when they present it nowadays, it's just got 1 standing stone. That's the way the government presents it now. That's my understanding. I'd love to have somebody who's on the ground give a little more insight into that. But you see both these pictures floating around the internet, and the one that the government has in the museum now is a single standing stone. But the 2,
even before the discovery of the cannabis resins, Telerad was known as a site that has the evidence of the combined worship of Asherah and Yahweh. They found an inscription on the site that referred to it as the House of Yahweh, and they found figurines of what are believed to be representatives of the goddess Asherah at this same site as well.
But good news today, right? Good news today. Good news. Ceasefire. Good news. Good news. Some good news.
Well, and this would fit in with the 2 standing stones and the 2 altars. And, also when you follow,
Yahweh used to have a bride goddess, so this is really old. Whoa.
Like Hezekiah's reforms, they were directed against Asherah worship, which had been a large part, for centuries prior, Yahweh had been coupled with Asherah. And so
Asherah
Hezekiah's reforms, as well as Josiah's, were directly motivated against suppressing this temple, and that would account for its cancellation and the preservation of this material.
Okay, I went up to that.
And
one.
another interesting thing
Vicky?
here is when you follow the references to Cannabis and Canna, as pointed out by Sula Bennett, and these are Exodus 30:23, where it's made into a holy oil, in Isaiah 43:24, where it's God's upset that he's not brought any cannabis or frankincense specifically. I'd
be upset
the next
too.
reference is in Jeremiah 6:20. And
if you see me, you better bring me some frankincense and some cannabis.
The Song of Songs, it also occurs in the Song of Songs in a list of ingredients. 4:14, and the Song of Songs has been suggested as the Jewish counterpart of what was known as the Heroes Gamos, or sacred marriage, where we see figures like Ishtar and Tammuz coupled together in a sacred marriage that was thought to bring fertility to the land. And this is also what has been suggested of the Song and Song. Marvin H. Pope's book on the songs really goes into detail on this idea is that the songs represent the Jewish form of the Heroes Gamos, and Yahweh and Asherah are likely coupling in that respect. And also it appears in Jeremiah 6:20, and this is, I think, important in reference to what we're talking about, the cancellation of this. As the earlier references, it clearly is something that cannabis is mandated in Exodus 30:23 as part of the holy anointing oil, and is God's upset when Isaiah doesn't bring him any in the other reference, and it's a part of Song and Songs. But in Jeremiah 6:20, we read, "What use to me is frankincense that comes from Sheba, or sweet cane," this is the fragrant cane, the cannabis, the canna, "from a distant land. Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices pleasing to me." So here, both in Isaiah and in Jeremiah, we see this combination of frankincense and cannabis, as we see at the temple in Arad specifically, right? And here in Jeremiah, it's rejected. And this is directly tied to Jeremiah 44, where Jeremiah blames the fall of Jerusalem on the people of Israel burning incense to the Queen of Heaven and pouring out drink offerings to her. And there's also a reference in Ezekiel, and it is referred to as an item of trade. And that's another thing about Tel Arad is the...
All right, sorry, everybody. I had to get my cookies. Hi, Reginald. Welcome to the live stream. These are my cookies. One of them kind of split apart, and they're way too hot, right? But I really want to eat them. Very chocolatey. Ooey gooey cookies. These are in my book, just so you know. Haha, with hella passion and next vote, bring the queen frankincense and cannabis. Yeah, exactly. And cookies. I had to bring myself cookies. All right, so we're learning here. Should I take a bite? I think I need to. I'm hoping it's not molten, but... Oh. It's so chocolatey. I also used couverture, which is really bougie, in these cookies. And they're big. They're kind of like big chocolate chips. They're so good. This is so good. It's called Chocolate Chips Ahoy. This isn't dosed. So yummy. Okay, keep watching.
Original academic paper suggests this was something that was received at that trading post that came in as a foreign item, right? And that's one of the reasons also is this name, canna and cannabosum. This is borrowed from an Indo-European term for cannabis. And as an item of trade, it came in with that name. So that's why it's there linguistically and can be connected to the modern term cannabis, which also derives from Indo-European roots. And I'll let you take over from there.
Yeah, so I mean, cannabis, they wouldn't have been growing it right in Israel proper. It's not really the right growing conditions, but they did grow it in Lebanon. They did grow it in Turkey. The Bekaa Valley in Lebanon is famous to this day for, you know, cannabis production. And it was well known back in like the Roman era, at least. So definitely an item of trade, but not necessarily like from super far away, although it could come from even farther than that. But yeah, I would add the Jeremiah 6:20 and the Isaiah 43:24. They both are just making it very clear that cannabis was being used as a burnt offering in the first temple.
Yeah, let's take a look at that Isaiah 43:24 reference.
Yeah, it says, I've got it right here. You have not brought any fragrant cannabis, canna, for me, or lavished on me the fat of your sacrifices, but you have burdened me with your sins and wearied me with your offenses. Now, this is like late in the first temple period when they're getting when they're starting to fall.
I want to point out first before you continue there. I have not burdened you with offerings or wearied you with frankincense. So frankincense actually appears, and I went back to the Hebrew, and it does appear in the Hebrew as well, right? It gets left out of some translations.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
That's really important in relation to this discussion of Telerad, right?
Sure. And
it also says, but you've burdened me with your sins and wearied me with your iniquities. And this ties it to another reference in Isaiah 6. And I'll let you, sorry to interrupt you there, but I just want
I know this is totally gross for some people. I'm drinking this milk. This is not raw. This is pasteurized. But it is whole. It's delicious.
to point out that frankincense.
Yeah, that's interesting because that's not in the version I've got right here. So
yeah, no, I went my, and it carries through in the Hebrew, and so does the sins and iniquities of these two verses. Because I'm saying this. Sorry, I'm turning off my screen there. I'm saying that there's a connection here between Isaiah 43:24 and Isaiah 6:4.
The milk is cooling the cookie down so I can eat it. It's so good. You can't have any cookie. Okay, wait, let me read these comments. These guys are cannabis Judaism experts. Yes. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted by that cookie. I'm not going to chug the milk, sorry. They're on fire. They're on fire. Let me get my hands on some RSO out here in NYC. I'm surprised you can't find it there. You can always make it. Joshua, y'all think Chris dabbles? He's excited about it. Your eyes, LOL. Mine? My eyes? Oh, because of the cookie? They're so good. It's such a good cookie. I fucking love cookies, man. Eddie, this chat's on fire. I don't know what's going on here. But not to be that guy, but watching you drink milk and hearing you mash some cookies is legit ASMR, respectfully, of course. I didn't know ASMR was not a respectful thing. Is that like a sexual thing? I thought it was just like it helped people go to sleep. Like it was relaxing. Vanessa, look at Inevitable's personal story above. Let me see. Canna cookies plus RSO completely eradicated my grandpa's stage 4 lymphoma. Wow. When the doctor said he'd be dead in a month after refusing chemotherapy. Oh, that's amazing. That's so awesome. It's weird that cannabis is supposedly 30 million years old and humans only 300,000. I'm calling cap. Where did you read that it's 30? Did they say that? Did I miss that? Don't get mad at me if I missed something, okay? Rusty Shackleford, I'm going to be on the Dr. Green Thumb show tomorrow. I was supposed to send Pedro a photo. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll send it to him later. Want cookies now. Looking delicious as fuck. They're so fucking good. They're in here. In my cookbook. How to eat weed and have a good time. It is relaxing. Your munchie bliss is immaculate. Thank you. It's really like a good munchie. I have another cookie here and I'm just trying to like hold myself back a little bit because I just like demolished that cookie in 2 seconds. Trying to let that sit in my stomach for a second before I eat another one. But they're mighty tasty. Hi, Occult 45. How you doing? Where you been?
6. And I'll read you that. And it says, and the posts of the doors moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smokes. Then said I, woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from off the altar. And he laid it upon my mouth and said, lo, that has touched thy lips, and thy iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. Whereas in Isaiah 43:24, he's like complaining he didn't get any cannabis, but you burdened me with your sins and have wearied me with your iniquities. Now, whatever he had taken was taken off the incense altar with tongs. When it was held to Isaiah's lips, that lifted those same sins and iniquities. This is clearly a connection to the incense altar in both cases. So again, here, I think we have a very important connection with the Telerad references and references to Canna in the biblical text.
Yeah, like, and I would just add to that by saying that the connections with frankincense plays all the way through. You always see the hashish and frankincense using side by side because they're mixed together as an ingredient and to make this intoxicating incense. And so you see that pairing just pairs all the way through because the substances are in fact mixed together.
Intoxicating text too referred to it being mixed with myrrh, like it's a very common
and myrrh as well. And then for scholars, this is one of the passages. There's another one in Ezekiel as well that have always, where they've got these phantasmagoric visions where your traditional Christian scholars never understood what to make of it. But as soon as the drug scholars got into it, they were like, oh, yeah, that's a drug reference.
Yeah. So he's given a scroll and he eats it. It turns bitter in his stomach. Then he begins to prophesize and have a vision. It's obviously a connection. You know what I mean?
Man. It's there's this entire that Chris has been pioneer of, and some other fellows as well. Professor Rock and some other folks that has just been outside the mainstream scholarship. They just have not done the proper work to go through the actual drug rituals. Because it's actually not that many drugs we're talking about. And the cannabis explicitly has been totally overlooked. Everyone sees the psychedelics now, we get it. But people have not been talking about the cannabis, and they've also not been making the connection that cannabis isn't only a drug, it's also a fiber, which is the extra reason why it's sacred to the women and sacred to these goddess traditions. But my whole thesis is that, there's a revolution.
Wait, is your grandma into weed? Please tell me your Italian grandma is into weed. That would be amazing. I have some Italian recipes in the cookbook for sure. Meatballs. What else is there? Pizza pie poppers, which are they're based on pitule. They're based on like fried dough balls, but instead of like having healthy things in them, not unhealthy, but like cheese and tomato and pepperoni in the middle. Really good.
It's not just a reformation; it's a full-on culture war revolution going on in the First Temple. As these, Yahwist revolutionaries are trying to overthrow the very traditional religions. And so my thesis is that cannabis was sacred to the Asherah traditions, and so it gets thrown out as part of the traditions, along with trans people who were also there. They were the high priests, there's this big revolution, and they throw the cannabis out. And so that's the smoke. So Yahweh always appears as a cloud of smoke in the First Temple, from Moses all the way through the First Temple. But in the Second Temple, you never see
baby.
that imagery is ever used again because, like, it's part of the Reformation. They throw
the
it out.
ancient prophets is over. You know what I mean? It's like it says right in the Bible. If your son is a prophet, stab him. It's like they're tired of that. It becomes a religion of laws and rules. You know what I mean? And what you're supposed to do. It should be also pointed out.
These guys are interesting, but let's look at something new.
In the Bhagavad Gita, I made this connection when I was preparing for this podcast. I was reading the whole story about how is it Krishna?
Krishna
puts
Arjun.
a fucking drug in his eyes.
Arjun
to make him see
his final form or his universal form.
I fucking saw that. I was like, oh
it's the
my
soma.
god!
It's the soma. That's what it is. It's the equivalent of the Greek kukion. It's a psychedelic drink. And yeah,
but it says they literally put it in his eyes so that he can see.
So he can see. Isn't that awesome?
Dude, that's incredible.
They were saying that the Indo-European word gehu, which means to like pour or libate, is where we get the word God from. The English word for God comes from an Indo-European word that's also cognate with kaikion and soma and haoma. So drugs.
I'm going to bake those tomorrow because I don't want them in my house anymore. I also have to make tres leches tonight. That's okay though. Anyway, because these cookies are too good, and if they stick around, I'll just keep eating them. So I can't do that. I'm just gonna drop it in this milk though.
The ancient word for drugs. The ancient drugs, I should say, are all cognate with each other, where it goes back to Indo-European word gehu. That word gehu is cognate with the word God in English. So it's like, I can actually show you this. If you look up Indo-European vocabulary.
Look at all those fucking elephants, dude.
It's amazing, dude. That's amazing. And by the way, the Indians are Indo-Europeans, their language.
And I think the...
Look at all those elephants. You gotta be high.
Islamists came in and tried to destroy all this stuff.
They did. Indo-European vocabulary. Yeah, right there. All right. Now, can you do a word search for?
No.
Do a word search.
I wonder if there's like there you go.
No. That I know it's in that one. That's why. That's why I said
the wiki.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you do a word search, type in the word libate, Libate. All right. See, look at this. Okay, this is gonna be crazy.
To pour or invoke.
Now look on the right.
What is going on? Yeah, Chentani. True, Anthony. Good response. To be bitter. I don't know what we're laughing at. Are we laughing at me? No.
It's cognate with homa, the oblation of a Vedic ritual. That's the drug, soma. That's what it's called, or it's called homa.
Whoa.
So the word God, if you go up just a little bit, so you can see the top where it says, go up a little.
English, God.
Yeah. So you see Indo-European, gehu, English.
Oh, you're laughing at the elephants thing. That was pretty funny. I agree.
God, Latin, well, I don't know where fundu comes from, but these people know. And then in Sanskrit, homa. So this drug,
what is homa?
That's the soma drink.
Oh,
that's the drink that makes you see the gods.
Wow.
So our word for God has a cognate with the drugs that Krishna is using.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy, dude.
So that the word God's connected to drugs.
Yes, I think it is, dude. After literally falling down this rabbit hole with you and Amun like a couple months ago, it makes what makes the most sense to me. The easiest way for me to understand this is that these ancient people were taking drugs and it showed them the fucking fabric of the universe.
Yeah,
and they thought that was God.
Well, as I've mentioned many times before.
Hi, Breeze Tones. How's it going? I'm just eating a cookie. I shouldn't eat anymore. Oh my God.
I've had a lot.
But that makes me so happy. You know, that the recipe's good. I mean, I know they're good. That's, you know, you always want to test things 20 bajillion times.
of experiences with DMT.
Or I just want to eat cookies.
And those experiences with DMT has me convinced that our religion comes from psychedelic experience.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, how they got away from that stuff. A lot of primary sources reflect it. You know, you have sources of the Hebrew Levites smoking cannabis in the Holy of Holies, or hot boxing it, like lighting it on an altar, letting the whole thing get filled with smoke. And it's the aroma of God. You have the kakian in Greece, drinking the wine mixed with the ergot. You have the soma. You have the haoma in Persia. You have all these different types of psychedelics, and they're all connected to these major priesthoods. Then you have a Eucharist in Christianity. And
I'm not eating another cookie. There is still a piece of a cookie here. I'm trying to like behave a little bit. Look it. I've got a little piece of cookie. There were 2 cookies, and they're really big cookies. I made them extra big this time. They might have been a little too big. Huh, Bonbon? I made them kind of too big. Bonbon, go lay in your bed. Do you want to come up here? No, you just want cookies, and I'm not giving you them because they have chocolate in them.
And then all of a sudden, drugs are gone. So it's like...
What was the theriac? That was like a bunch of snake venoms?
The theriac was
viper
was
venoms?
a Romans-era drug mixed with venoms. Yeah, that's what Galen...
There was a ton of shit. Can you find the ingredients list?
I don't know if we know it all, but you can look it up, yeah.
Type in the ingredients list for the theriac. I think it was like 12 different North African viper venoms.
Oh, they do know it. I didn't know they knew it. I thought it was a mystery.
Here we go. According to commentary on Exodus,
Well, you thought
Kitisa,
wrong.
the Spanish scholar Moses Ben Nachman lists the ingredients of the theriac: leaven, honey, flesh of wild beasts and reptiles, dried scorpion, and viper. Oh, it was flesh of viper.
Dried scorpion. What the hell? And I know that dried scorpion is a psychedelic.
Oh, here
I found that out.
They got a bunch of roots.
Really?
I thought
Roots?
Amon said they had a bunch of
Roots. Wait a minute. Hold on. Stop right there.
Or
That's where you get DMT from extracting from roots.
Is it a specific root?
It's almost every root has some sort of DMT in it. Every single kind of root. So Mimosa hostilis root bark.
Cinnamon.
So Mimosa hostilis root bark and Acacia confusia root bark have the highest levels of DMT.
Right.
But
Scorpion
it's said that
venom.
every kind of root bark has some little bit of DMT in it. So those can all have DMT in it, just a little bit amounts of it.
Right. Didn't Amon also say...
Okay, I can't listen to these guys anymore. Sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. But that's just how it goes. Let me see what I want to watch. This looks interesting. Do you guys want to keep? We can keep watching this for a second.
Say there was like bodily fluids mixed in there?
Yeah.
flowers,
fruits and seeds. Oh, by the way, you have to add as what's called Syrian rue seeds to your acacia root bark to convert it from DMT to ayahuasca because it's an MAO inhibitor.
Right.
So those seeds might be MAO inhibitors.
How did they figure that shit out, dude?
But if I had to guess, that's what's going on. You have the seeds, you have the MAO inhibitors, you have the DMT roots, and you have all these other types of stuff mixing up with this, making this super magic potion to meet the gods with.
Good God, that's a ton of ingredients.
I know, it's nuts, dude.
That's
it's
more,
nuts.
That's
I
more
wonder
than
if anyone's tried to recreate it like in modern times.
I want to.
Like I want to see. I
want to do it when I come down here.
Yeah, I want like some sort of like pharmacologist chemist.
Yeah, I would need some help
to try to do this shit and try to make it. I don't know if it'd be ethical. If you really took
it's easy to make DMT.
If you took almonds, literally,
anyone can make DMT. It's super easy.
DMT super easy.
So easy to do. You just get acacia confused root bark or Mimosa hostilis root bark. It's legal because you can use it as dye, purple dye. Purple dye. I'm not kidding. You can use it as purple dye. I've done it before.
Say it one more time.
Isn't that mind blowing? This is why I take Amon seriously sometimes because you can.
Sometimes,
dude, he's right. You know what I mean? You can use that purple dye and it's legal for that.
Yeah.
But if you don't use it as purple dye, you can add it to hot boiled water, and you'll see the layers mix up together. You got to add caustic soda. You got to mix it up with caustic soda, get it real hot,
Eric.
and then the layers start to separate. Shake it up real good. Probably let it sit for a day in a hot bath. The next day, you.
Okay, enough of that.
I'm going to tell you something that is absolutely 100% academically true at the universities today. There is no university on this planet that can take one of these drugs that these female priestesses were using and explain to you what it did in the body. It's impossible. So they're using some kind of toxin on the arrow. And since they're constantly talking about where does the toxin come from the snakes. And what's beautiful is there's a remedy for this. Just pick a sex drug. Let me give you a good one. There's a drug that Mary Magdalene gives to Jesus. If you check it out in the Greek, there's not one name for one plant. What were the Christians battling that would make them want to do these strange rites? If you look at the Greek rites, they were attempting to copy the Greek rites at the same time to alter them so that the Greek gods would not be able to defend their own rights. Because they believe in demons. So you see this period, this intense period of demon fighting, demon possession and demon fighting. It's through the drugs that they're putting through.
Low-level chemistry.
And then they're either having vaginal or anal intercourse. You can use a statue of Priapus. You can use any of the Herms. And with the...
Sorry, what did I miss?
They were attempting to copy the Greek rites at the same time.
Stop distracting me. If you want your message to be seen by me, send it via super chat, and then I really will see it, okay? That's a new feature that I can do. So if you want to support the stream and to have your comment seen by me so I don't get distracted by what's happening in this fucking video, then send me it via super chat.
To alter them so that the Greek gods would not be able to defend their own rights. Because they believe in demons. So you see this period, this intense period of demon fighting, demon possession and demon fighting. It's through the drugs that they're putting on the phallus, and then they're either having vaginal or anal intercourse. You can use a statue of Priapus. You can use any of the Herms. And with the box that the Dionysiac troupe would carry around, they had some kind of instrument that they used to apply a drug.
In their bums? I'm sorry, I'm too stoned.
I'm going to tell you something that is absolutely 100% academically true at the universities today. There is no university on this planet that can take one of these drugs that these female priestesses were using and explain to you what it did in the body. It's impossible. So they're using some kind of toxin on the arrow. And since they're constantly talking about where does the toxin come from the snakes. And what's beautiful is there's a remedy for this. Just pick a sex drug. Let me give you a good one. There's a drug that Mary Magdalene gives to Jesus. If you check it out in the Greek, there's not one name for one plant. What were the Christians battling that would make them want to do these strange rites? If you look at the Greek rites, they were attempting to copy the Greek rites at the same time to alter them so that the Greek gods would not be able to defend their own rights. Because they believe in demons. So you see this period, this intense period of demon fighting, demon possession and demon fighting. It's through the drugs that they're putting on the phallus, and then they're either having vaginal or anal intercourse. You can use a statue of Priapus. You can use any of the Herms. And with the box that the Dionysiac troupe would carry around, they had some kind of instrument.
Hi, Isaiah.
That they used to apply a drug.
What's your question for me? What's your comment, or do you just want to shout out? If you're look at Isaiah, he's getting all that love. Thank you. Fuck yeah, that's our first Isaiah. I want you to know you're our first super chat in the history of this live stream. So thank you so much. I love it. Look at that. Oh my God, other side too. Look at what's happening here, people. This is actually happening. This pays for Winslow. Cool. First super chat live stream, and it's going really well. So thank you so much. Love you guys. Love it. Okay. Okay. Other side, yeah. Thank you.
Talk about all the dirty stuff. It's okay. All right. Okay, fine. It's all clinical, though. Trust me, it's all clinical. Honestly, I'll say a few remarks, and I want to spend a bit of time on questions, but I'll say just a few remarks. And I want to bring this down to where it's interesting. So I don't want to leave anything out. But you have to.
Don't worry, Eddie. It's okay. Don't worry. You know, I've got my patrons on Patreon. Some people are on YouTube. Just depends on where you are. Love you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for seshing with me. I don't know where my little dog went. I think she went to the bedroom. She does that sometimes. She likes to be alone sometimes. That's cool. So.
Understand it.
What is my preferred weed strain? Preferred. I like a lot of them. Usually, like if I see Durban Poison, I'll always smoke an OG Kush. Obviously, anything that Be Real. Be Real's OG Kush is really good. Insane OG. What else do I love? There, favorite? I guess it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Good question. Good strains you guys are able to get your hands on. I mean, in California, you can kind of get your hands on everything, but I feel like everything is a hybrid now. And there's all of what am I smoking tonight? Pineapple gas. So from Garden Society. Let's see about pineapple gas. Pineapple gas is an indica sativa from Hillbilly Herb Grower and can be cultivated indoors, outdoors, and greenhouse. That's interesting. All bud. Pineapple fuel. No, that's not it. Or is that it? Yeah, I guess that's the same. It is an even balanced hybrid. It's all hybrids, but it says it's sativa. Russian Diesel Pineapple Express. Sounds good to me. Uplifting. Okay, let's watch let's watch a couple other things, actually. Do you want to watch a little more of this? Let's watch 2 more seconds of this. I want to see what this is about. Runs this afternoon, unfortunately needed. What happened, Breeze Tones?
I came from a background of having both the sciences and the humanities. So I have a degree in PhD in classics. I do the Greek and Latin. That's my thing. That's my thing. Not even history so much as just the language. I read the text. I know how to work the grammar. That's my strong point. So what I did was I said, hey, there's all this scientific stuff out there.
You've given me so much already. Oh, my God.
We haven't translated. So I started working on it, and it just sucked me in. It's a huge, and let me explain to you what's going on.
Thank you.
And then we'll talk about marijuana. So an idea that I came up with, I was having problem with the vocabulary, with the Greek vocabulary. And there are some big holes in the ancient Greek world that we try to plug over. With kind of a Christian ideology.
Love it.
And I started calling this the Christian lens. When you try to take away the Christian lens, because the Christians are after the pagan cult's all established, right? So you don't want to look at it through that lens. You want to see it as the pagans do. Let me give you one example. And I hate that word pagan because it's like using the N word. It's women who are called pagans were killed. I mean, so have a little respect, right? Don't use the term pagan. But the thing that I really think helped me to understand the text is when I put aside that Christian lens. And when you put aside that Christian lens, let me give you one example. Homosexual. There's no word for homosexual in the ancient Greek vocabulary. There's no word for homosexual. There are entire books written about homosexuals, and there's no word for it in their own language. So were they looking at it different? One question academics love to ask was Achilles having sex with Patroclus? They love it. And it's not just us. The Greeks did the same thing. They were talking about it too. But when you look at the...
I don't know what's going on here, but we're going to watch something else. Gelato weed. Very good.
CBD
Isaiah.
oils ready?
Very good.
You got your dabs lit? Because this is going to be a good one tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Tonight, we are going to go back to the Bronze Age.
Oh, shit.
And experience the culture and what it was like. To go into the Holy of Holies.
Okay.
And take part in these rites. And literally meet with the gods.
Ooh. I feel like that needs some music. History. Mythology. Comparative religion. New Testament origins. Okay, this is too long.
What he's bringing his flavor. He's bringing his own, what the muse brings, what the muse tells him what to say, basically, if that makes sense. And yeah, any thoughts on that at all?
Best cut, Ohio.
I
Death
think
Star.
that book is way too expensive, and I've please, if you have $800.
Who prices that?
$800?
Don't do that. Yes,
well,
that's crazy.
You can get that the online for only $12. So
my book's only, I think, $35, but hopefully they'll offer like some sort of discount soon. But they'll offer, if you pre-ordered though, I think it'll apply to you too.
Yeah, get that Kindle version. I talked to them. I sent an email. A lot of people have been saying, "What is this? I can't get your book. It's too expensive."
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent an email to my publisher and told them today that this is, who knows?
I wonder what was going on with that. Maybe it was some error or something.
No, it's just out of print. So it's the cost is going to go up. Yeah.
Sure.
But now is a good time to approach him again about Jesus and the magic and the naked boy. I think we're, that ceiling is there, and
We
that's what
wrote
we're
a
going to be
book on
talking about
drugs.
today is that drug ceiling, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, before we even start with this article, there was a question from Derek Lambert from Myth Vision Podcast. He said, in the book Chemical Muse, what's the biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway from the Chemical Muse is that people in antiquity.
Oh, I think I skipped over something because I'm like, what are we talking about? Okay. So can't listen to that dramatic music while we do this. Okay.
Welcome back to the Gnostic Informant, and you are about to attain true gnosis. And today I have Dr. Amon with me.
Very shifty eyes. I
And
just feel like
I just want to, before we even start, actually, I want to just do a little plug for Dr. Amon, and he has a book written called The Chemical Muse. It's all about a lot of stuff we're going to get into tonight. And just check that out. It does say there's a hardcover for $800, but
it's
you guys
his
have the
book.
secret inner mystery code right here. Just
Hardcover
get that
for
Kindle version
$800.
for
What an
$11.99.
asshole.
And we'll get this sorted out later. But with that being said, Lady Babylon is the channel.
Sign me up for the Temple of Vanessa.
Only the people who are initiated, the deepest of the
Well, did you
mysteries
subscribe here?
Can ever stomach and
you can join my
understand and have
Patreon
ears to hear, if you
if
know
you
what I
want
mean.
to.
If you think you got what it takes.
Okay, so why I joined the Patreon? Let me pause these guys. Because there's a group chat. That's why you should join the Patreon. Like the live is on there, and I give them early access to content that we shoot, my team. But the Patreon is how we do cool shit, and it's growing. And so is this, which is awesome. Thanks everyone for being here. Huge success. Smashing. Darlings. Let me put this in the chat for you guys. This is the Edibles Club. I have t-shirts and stuff too, if people want them. Patreon 24-hour group chat with Vanessa. Yeah, I'm always in the group chat. We're always sharing things. It's very family, you know? That's my Patreon. That's how
Check
this
out
all
Lady
started.
Babylon. Subscribe and hit the bell and watch these videos. And
yes,
get ready to learn the truth about
my
this stuff.
Instagram. Okay, I'll put that in the chat right
with
now.
that being said, go and subscribe. Go and subscribe to Lady Babylon. He's putting out amazing content. He is not coming from any agenda. He's just doing he's bringing his flavor. He's bringing his own what the muse brings, what the muse tells him what to say, basically, if that makes sense. And yeah, any thoughts on that at all?
Thank you,
I
Peter.
think that book is way too expensive, and I've please, if you have $800,
Hi from New
to
Zealand.
throw away, don't.
Hi,
Don't do that.
Dwayne.
Yes,
Well,
no.
How are you?
You can get that the online for only $20. So.
Yeah, get that Kindle version. I talked.
Thank
to
you, Peter. Yeah, I know you
sent
mean
an
me.
email. A lot of people have been saying, "What is this? I can't get your book. It's too expensive."
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent an email to my publisher.
Thank
and told
you.
them today. This is, who
I wonder
knows?
what was going on with that. Maybe it was some error or something.
No, it's just out of print. It's just out of print. So it's the cost is going to go up. Yeah.
Sure.
But now is a good time to approach him again about Jesus and the magic and the naked boy
From Massachusetts. Hello.
that sealing is there, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Is that drug sealing, aren't we?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Before we even start with this article, there was a question from Derek Lammett from Myth Vision Podcast. He said, in the book Chemical Muse, what's the biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway from the Chemical Muse is that people in antiquity of all kinds and classes were involved in heavy drug use. And that's the biggest takeaway. Can you believe that? I devoted an entire book just to get that message to people. Because at the time that I wrote it, there was huge academic resistance to even talking.
See you on Saturday.
About drugs.
Saturdays, 1:20 p.m.
That's the take-home message, Derek.
Saturdays, 1:20 p.m. Pacific. I have a kitchen sesh. Okay? Okay, I'm kind of over this topic. Can we move on to, like, what I'm going to cook this Saturday? Okay, fine. We'll watch a little more, but I might just let you all vote on it. Bye, Breezetones.
It's a take-home message. And by the way, we've got a poll going, Derek, about whether or not you can appear on next Friday's Satanic Initiation with a platinum wig and in women's lingerie. So we've got a poll going on right now. I think a lot of our people, I think about 50% were at yes and 50% were at absolutely.
All right.
Definitely.
I'm gonna have to go add my vote to that and cast my ballot as well.
Food is medicine.
But yeah, let's see what happens with that.
Not those cookies.
There's an article. When did it come out? Today? Yesterday? You said?
Yeah, I saw it today, but this is recent. Check the date.
Oh my! Oh, you're not lying. April 2023 from Andrew Jacobs.
Have I ever lied to you?
No, I didn't mean it like
Probably.
that. Probably.
Everybody lies.
But yeah, he's a reporter from the New York Times. Well, it was your idea. Do you want to read this? Do you want me to read this?
Yeah, here's what I want.
Marvin, what are you going to cook for dinner? I always do pasta when I don't know. That's what I do. When in doubt, I do a pasta. Jeff Tharp, what's on the menu? I'm open to suggestions. Put some suggestions in the chat. Maybe we can look at some things before I wrap up this evening, because I have to make tres leches tonight. So
this is tripping in the Bronze Age.
Everyone lies. I feel like a liar is someone who compulsively lies. But everyone tells, lies and little lies.
Now, This is just an article about some of the archaeology and some of the DNA analysis that they've been doing. So I want people to understand when I say the people in the Bronze Age were heavy drug users. Well, now we have a hair sample that's telling us what they were using. Go ahead.
Wow, this is amazing. What a perfect time to find this for this article to drop, and we can talk about it. A new study based on strands of hair found in a Spanish burial cave reveals that humans living 3,000 years ago, wow, use hallucinogens, likely derived from local plants as part of their rituals. Now, the first thing I think about when I read this sentence is they were already at the point where they were advanced enough to know how to extract hallucinogens. You don't just use hallucinogens. You have to know which plants can you extract it from, which sources to use. So we're talking 1,000 years before Jesus Christ. People are already at the level of being able to extract hallucinogens. Anyways, I just want to put that thought aside for a second. Let's keep going. Ancient strands of human hair found in burial site on the island of Mincora, Spain, contain traces of alkaloid substances known to produce.
Okay, so Jeff Tharp, you're suggesting cannoli. Tacos, says Ricky Francois. We did tacos, I feel like not too long ago. I think we did like, what did we do? Tacos, and I did something. But
altered states of consciousness. Bronze Age humans have been credited with a number of civilizational advancements, the invention of irrigation, the wheel, writing systems, and this is what I was just saying, and the ability to forge weapons and tools from the durable metal that lends the era to its name. Now, strands of human hair discovered in an ancient burial cave in Spain suggest another novelty: proclivity for consuming psychoactive drugs. The hair found inside wooden containers hidden deep within a sealed grotto. Every time I hear that word grotto, I think of Pan. On Minorca.
Alan, I think I did bread pudding. I did bread pudding.
An island off the coast.
Other side, yes. I do edibles every Saturday. I infuse a recipe live for the Edibles Club and for you guys here on YouTube. I'm on many platforms, okay? I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Blue Sky, I'm on Threads, I'm on Facebook, I'm on X, and I think that's it right now. And I'm considering doing Twitch. So that's the new age. You either get with it or you do something else. Do something biblical. Come party to the desert and do something biblical. What could we do? Can I look up biblical food? These guys are very interesting, but I'm a little too stoned for this. Biblically accurate angels. No, thank you. Healing foods found in the Bible. Let's see.
Is it possible that the key to a healthy and pain-free lifestyle
communion
can have
wafers
been given to us thousands of years ago? Did we overlook it? Many ancient scriptures and spiritual teachings, including the Bible, weigh in on how we should eat. People in the Bible allegedly lived to be 120 years old or more. Methuselah, the oldest person in the Bible, was said to have died at 969 years old. Later, I'm going to tell you about a specific food in the Bible now getting lots of attention for its ability to slow aging and degeneration. What do you think it is? I'll give you one clue. Jesus was fond of it. Maybe you can let that roll around in your head for a minute. But be sure to stick around to the end of the video if you want to know what that miracle food is. Today, we're taking a closer look at a few of the healthy foods found in the Bible. Let's see how they stack up with what we know about healthy eating in the present day. My name is Dr. Paris, and I specialize in helping people with chronic pain conditions such as arthritis find natural ways to reduce pain. And one of the best ways I've found to help my patients reduce pain and soothe inflammation is by helping them to get their nutrition in order. Many may not think about changing their diet to reduce inflammation and pain, but like others in my field, I've realized that we must address problems at the root level to make real tangible changes. Pain.
And you know what helps with inflammation? Weed. Okay, we're only going to be live for 11 more minutes. So if you have any questions for me, or you want to know anything, or you want, you know, like if you want to show any support before this live stream ends, because I have to, I can hold my pee for 11 more minutes, and then I have to pee. So that's just how it goes. We got to end. And let's keep. I don't know if we need to watch this guy. Let's see this.
An anti-inflammatory. In fact, if you were to follow a biblical diet to a T, meaning you eat only the foods recommended in the Bible, you would probably lose weight and feel less pain. One of the foods most known in the Bible is a sweet treat still enjoyed by many today.
Not
the
cookies.
Food item number 1 never spoils. 2 has all the ingredients needed to keep it alive. And number 3 has been used as currency. Did you guess what it is? Honey is the first on the list. The Bible mentions honey many times, and it would have been quite the commodity back then since there was no processed sugar. Of course, all honey in biblical days would have been local and raw, so only the good stuff would have been in circulation. And the quality of honey would be much different than what we see today. When you purchase honey, you should ensure it's at the very least pure honey.
That's what I did with my uncle.
Organic honey is even better. Buying local honey is better because beehives closer to home will actually feed off the same flowers that cause allergies. So what happens is when you eat the honey, you ingest micro amounts of those allergens, allowing your body to respond to building a defense against it. And then, hopefully, the next time you become exposed to that allergen,
Jeff.
your body won't react as much. Honey's a great natural sweetener and energy source. It's also chock full of antioxidants that help boost the immune system and fight off disease. Honey is also antibacterial and great for digestion and blood sugar management. The second food I want to discuss is often mentioned alongside
Inevitable Enterprises. I said this at least twice. So this is interesting. I feel like it's good for me to repeat myself because like sometimes people are here, sometimes maybe you gotta go to the bathroom. Obviously something's on my mind. On Saturdays at 1:20 p.m. Pacific, I do a kitchen sesh. Today is the Club Sesh. This is like Weed Wednesday, Club Sesh. We shoot the shit. You know, Winslow lights me to the gods. Then Saturday, and we just, you know, like we learn about things. Let's just learn things. Let's be curious. Curious cannabis connoisseurs. That's what I said. And yes, welcome. Saturdays are kitchen sesh, and you can go through, there's like old live streams that I've done if that's your jam. I don't know, sometimes I don't know if it's weird for people to watch the live streams after they've aired, but I know a lot of people do like to watch them. So if that's your thing, Saturdays I do different recipes. Last week I did risotto and arancini, which, you know, were fucking delicious. And you, before that, I did, I'm laughing because it was such a mess. I'll let you know this. I am a messy Nessie on Saturdays, okay? It's a tad bit chaotic, and it's wild, and it's fun. And there's always something really delicious at the end of it. And the goal is to kind of show you it's okay, you know, to make mistakes in the kitchen. It's always going to work out. So, Organic Machine Dean, what kind of content is this channel about? It's about cannabis. I'm an edible maker, cookbook author, television co-host. I was a co-host of the first cannabis cooking show on cable called Bon Appetit. This is my cookbook. The link is up top. It's called How to Eat Weed and Have a Good Time. I wrote it for all of you or anybody who's interested in how to make edibles at home. So, culinary adventure. This is my book. What else? Then I do this live stream at my Patreon. Lots of stuff. So, welcome. If you're new here, welcome. Sounds like it's up my alley. I love cannabis and cooking. That's what that's what I do. So, you found the right place. Are you live on all platforms? Eric, I'm working on it. So when Saturday, Winslow will be here on Saturday. Winslow is my live stream producer, okay? And he just had a real talk with me today. And he was like, do you like streaming? I was like, yeah, it's fun. It's nice to like have a community and chat about things. And so he's going to set up my streaming system. We're going to talk about improving my stream. But I'm only live here right now, but the goal is to be live on multiple platforms. If there's any that you really prefer, like let me know so I can kind of prioritize those. So yeah, I wrote a cookbook, How to Eat Weed and Have a Good Time. I started in edibles like my senior year of college. Just, the story's in my book. I tell it better than I'll be able to tell it right now after a few hours of streaming and smoking a lot of pot. But this is what I do. I ran 200 tests for the cookbook with labs to figure out infusion rates for butter, infusion rates for tinctures. Like, that's what the book is about. It's about like science behind things, what I found with data, and tips and things I've learned throughout the years as an edible maker. I've learned a lot of things. Like, one of the stories, and I try to tell it as I told it as stories, right? Instead of just being like, like, don't do this, don't do that. I try to be like, hey, here's something that happened to me when I was in the decade that I've been making edibles. So try to think about this. And one of them is like cross-contamination. Accidentally dosing my ex a lesson on cannabis cross-contamination. So, I tell some stories, and the goal is to put things in your head while you're cooking with cannabis at home, to have you cook and store edibles safely, responsibly, so we have a good reputation as stoners and edible makers. It's a responsibility. And there's a lot of amazing recipes and beautiful photos. Some of them are hilarious, and I can't wait for you to see them. I just don't want to give it all away. So I'm trying to like find things that I know that they have posted on the internet already. But definitely the front and the back. I wish there was more because it's so good. There's like a cool whipper. Oh yeah, I think they have this photo up. I love this photo. I don't want to give the recipe away. So, wait, can you see it? So I called this recipe Zoot by the Foot. I left the kiwi seeds in. I like the little speckled look for the fruit roll up. I think it's nice. That's a little texture. But they're so good. It's such a fun recipe. There's gummies. There's my marigold recipe. I put my chocolate recipe in here. So you have my salted caramels. Yeah, I put a lot of work into this. Oh, and there's a bikini photo, which I'm not going to show you. but it's in here. So if that interests you, it's here. Yes, there's a fruit roll-up. I love a fruit roll-up. Zoot by the foot. That's what I called it. All of the recipe titles, like most of them, are funny. You know what I mean? Like they're silly. The cake, I have a forget my birthday cake. You know, like that's my kind of humor. Just berry wild pot tarts, and I wish I could show you that photo. They're so beautiful. Cherry Chiba cheesecakes. Those are yummy. Cool Whip, Kewl Whip. I love Cool Whip. I grew up with Cool Whip. I don't know if you grew up with Cool Whip, but I have to go soon. I'll close this out. But I grew up with Cool Whip. That was what we used on top of our desserts. And so I was like, we should make one and we should infuse it. It's just a stabilized whipped cream. OG fudge. Peanut butter red eyes. Peach dreamsicle. Like and then there's savory recipes too. Chili ranch tortilla chips. Hummus, hemp hummus, revved up ranch, queso extra fundido, BBQ ROFL sauce, pot pesto, duh. And then like passable appetizers, sticky icky pot stickers, and then the sky high pizza pie pockets, reefer rice balls, green gougere, chicken pot pies, wacky weed wontons. And the photos are so colorful and so beautiful. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Okay? I have to go. You know why. Maybe you don't. But if you do, you do. I'll see you on Saturday. Thank you all for being here. It's all fucking great. I told you, I gained a few pounds. Cosmic chili crisp, revved up ranch. Peter Piper's pepperonata. There's some Italian recipes in here, okay? And then there's the pot pantry. Can of butter, Mota milk, oil turnt tincture, and I did a compound can of butter too. Roasted garlic compound can of butter. So good. Stone sugar. You have like tea, you can make sugars. And my tincture is nice. So, because I figured out with my data how long it takes, like how quickly different solvents like alcohol, fats, butter, oil, whatever, milk, which is fats, how quickly they dissolve the trichomes, right? That's what you're trying to do. So when you're making cold water hash, you make those trichomes super cold and frigid and brittle. And then you agitate, you stir it, and you agitate. And there's like a real art to that, right? Like how much ice you use. You don't want to use too much ice because you don't want it to and you want to use specific shape ice. Like, you can talk to the real masters of that, the, artistes. And that's what you're doing when you're doing infusion with butter or fats is you're heating it up. So you're melting them into the butter. And you still want to agitate, but it doesn't take very long. So how long? Well, it's all in my book. I have infusion rates. I tested if you could decarboxylate in the microwave. I have a concentrate chart that has different concentrates and whether or not they are decarbed or raw, and what form they come in and their average potency. I have a general guide of how to decarb them, which is also on my Instagram. I've posted some of this. Meta doesn't really like me to post about it. I have a way to how to calculate the strength of an infusion, how to calculate the dose of an edible, what to do when someone gets too high, how to store edibles. So anyway, that's it, my friends. Fucking did it. Many years in the making. Many years in the making. So Saturday, I'll figure something out. I'll announce it. It'll be probably announced on the club, announced on here too. I'll put a post. And on my Instagram, I always try to get people to come on over. But see you all Saturday. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll light this up one more time with you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all my super chats. Russ, Isaiah. Who was the last one? Let me look at my super chats. I want to say thank you. Other side. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'll see you next time. If I'm going to put some things in the chat, some links in the chat if you want to join the Patreon, etc.